Hello, 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 everyone. I hope my audio is working. I had to reset all of my permissions on StreamYard because it was acting up. Let me check and make sure my audio is right. Okay, am I coming through loud and clear? About this. Is this better? Is this better? Does it sound okay? Does my audio sound okay? I hope so. It was a nightmare. Like I was dealing with it all evening trying to get this worked out. It was giving me troubles after trouble after trouble. My globe back here is in the wrong spot. There we go. Supposed to be there. My glowing orb. So Ethan, first reactions drop in 40 minutes. We have a lot of Superman stuff to talk about. There's so much drama around Superman right now. God, this... There we go. All right. Stop fidgeting with it. There's so much drama around Superman right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to save that for the last topic. So that'll be like, we're going to wait because I want to see when the embargoes lift, like what the reviews are. We're going to read through some of the reviews. We're going to look at the Rotten Tomatoes score just to see what the critic score is. So I'm hoping all of that comes out pretty quickly at the turn of the hour, so we have a chance to really talk about it. I think I have my virtual webcam working. So hopefully this doesn't crash. It didn't work last week, but I think I have everything under control. Yeah, we'll see those reviews when they come out. All right, so what is happening today? 3Dub was here earlier and disappeared. So I don't know where 3Dub is. I sent him the link. Let me check and see if he got it. Let me see if he got the link. Because I sent it. I know I sent it over. I sent it to everybody. Let's see here. 3Dub, you there? Did you get the link, 3Dub? Did you not get it? I know I sent it over to you. It's on Discord. If you look in the Discord chat, in the mod room, it is there. The link is in the mod room. All right. Yeah, the Superman stuff. If you guys want to drop super chats for Superman, that we will hold on to until we get to that portion of the video, that's fine. But I want to wait until we get like all the Superman stuff, like the reviews come out and all of that. So, yeah. TC says, will they be allowed to do Rotten Tomato reviews, or is it just for social media embargo tonight? I think it's the entire embargo. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think it's the entire embargo, meaning all of it should be coming out tonight. Like reviews and everything should be coming out tonight after midnight Eastern time, as far as I know. 3W... 3Dub, 3 and W's, and the www.3dub has arrived in the green room there. They changed private chat. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So what is that even? I'm not sure.
The studio chat, 3 people.
Ooh, like look, you can click. Can you see the little people button, or is that just me?
I can see the little people button.
I don't know if that's just me, but it allows me to like it lets me see like your audio levels and everything. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. StreamYard's been doing some cool stuff. They also made it so you can move things around in your media library now. Everybody in the chat's like, why the fuck are they talking about StreamYard? You can move things around in the media library now, and I think you can transfer files around as well. So, also kind of good. 3Dub, do you know, is it all social media tonight? Is it all the stuff is coming out at 12? I believe it's everything. Rotten Tomato scores and everything for Superman. The Superman drama.
Avoiding it.
Yeah, it is the main topic. So we're going to talk about like just what the drama is on the interview or whatever. It's not even spoilery. It's just an interview drama. So we'll talk about that. But after tonight, you guys, after tonight, I will not be looking at anything Superman related until I go see the movie on Thursday afternoon. 3Dub, when are you seeing the movie?
The 10th. The first 10th? Showing on 3D.
Oh, so you're seeing it on Thursday as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're seeing it Thursday. I'm seeing it Thursday. I think Darren is seeing it Thursday. Jake is not seeing it until Saturday, I believe. So
Yeah, he got the disapproval by Darren.
I saw that. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes released its own app. R.I.P. the Dream. It's fucking awful. All right, so yeah.
Did you hear, by the way, that TikTok is going to make a new app?
Yeah, we can talk about that for a moment. But before we talk about that, hang a hat on that one for a second. I do want to remind everyone that there is still, if you have not already done it and you become a channel member, there's a link in the community tab for channel members of any tier on both the Reloaded and the Debunks channel, where you can come over and join the Discord. It's growing pretty quickly. We're getting a lot of new channels put up. We have a Star Wars community over there. We have a anime community now. I've added tabs for all of that. So there's a lot of stuff happening on the Discord. If you're a channel member, if you're not into Discord, I get it. Some people aren't. But if you are, you become a channel member, you'll be able to get in this month, and then it will go live for everybody on August the 1st. So at that point, it's going to be crazy. I can only imagine everybody just joining. It's get ready, channel members. So the topics tonight, we're going to be talking about, I actually, 3W, you're going to be so happy about this. Maybe not. I don't know how much you care. I have all of my notes timed out, so I know exactly when we're supposed to be talking about stuff.
Wow.
So that way, when we get to a certain point, I can say, okay, we need to move on to the next subject. But we'll see how much I adhere to that, because I might be like, fuck that. I'm just going to talk whatever I want.
Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
Yes, that's probably what's going to happen. But I do have all of my links in one window, so that's actually really good. All right, so what are we talking about tonight? We're going to be talking about Jason Isaacs and Pape Esadu on the Harry Potter show coming up. That's going to be we'll probably talk about that first. Kind of get that out of the way. The J.K. Rowling never-ending drama around Harry Potter. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Jurassic World Rebirth opening and how that worked out for the franchise, as well as Scarlett Johansson's. We got some news on an update to her wealth, I guess is the way you put it. And we have I think not some, but we have a picture of a behind the scenes shot from Captain America Brave New World that I want to look at as well. And then the main topic is going to be Superman and everything revolving around that, and all of the whatever reviews we can read, all of that stuff. Also, what I might do is I may or may not bring the reviews up on screen, so that way I can kind of make sure I don't have any spoilers for viewers. So,
but you spoil yourself if you come across.
I'm going to try and click on the ones that say they're non-spoiler. Like I don't want to read spoiler ones. Matter of fact, if the only reason why I'm using Rotten Tomatoes, because I have that window open for Superman, is they usually have only like a small quote from the article. They don't have like the whole thing, so you can't really get spoiled on it or whatever. Wait, hold on, where's it at? Thomas here. How can you join the Discord? So the Discord is not open to everyone until August 1st. Then the link will just be in my description box. But if you want to join the Discord early access, so you can chat with me and 3Dub and all the guys over on Discord, and other people who are channel members as well, you can hit the subscribe plus. I believe it's subscribe plus is what it says now. It doesn't say join. If you hit subscribe plus, you can select any tier there. It's like a channel membership. So if you do that, you will be able to go into the community tab, and there's a link there for people that want to join Discord. Or you can wait till August 1st and join then. But, if you want to support the channel and get early access to Discord, that's how you do it. Yes, Cody. So all the Superman music is out. I did see that. And I would love to play it, but that would be automatic. That would be an automatic copyright strike on my channel. So no, we're not. I would love to do it, but I'm not going to. Let's look at the TikTok thing. I'll pull that up quickly here, because I have some thoughts on this, and they're not good. They are not good thoughts, everybody.
Basically a ban again.
Well, it's not only a ban, but it's also pretty, I guess radical is probably the best word to put it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fatman, while I look for this link over here, I saw that. I didn't even know that he was, it says privately. Yeah, of course. I didn't know that he had any health conditions. So when that news dropped, I was like, what? Like, for real? So RIP. You know,
I'm just sad that he didn't get like put in remission. You know, to save.
yeah, yeah. A lot of actors prefer to deal with their health struggles, you know, behind the scenes. So a lot of times we don't know what's going to happen
Until it happens.
Yeah, and then you're like, wait, what?
And if it doesn't happen, we still won't know.
Yeah.
Unless he
right.
like wants to tell us.
Okay, let's do this. My mouse. I swear to God, I need a new mouse. This one is bad. Okay. We're going to talk about this briefly, and then we'll jump into the first topic, but I do want to bring this up on screen here. So if you're a fan of the TikTok, of the TikTok place, I don't use it very much. Now, during COVID, I was using it a lot, but after COVID, I wasn't really using it that much. I know a lot of people still use TikTok quite a bit, but TikTok requires you to be like constantly on it to have any sort of like real growth on your channel. And then it makes, so like, if you're trying to make a career out of TikTok, 1 million TikTok views are the equivalent of like 10K YouTube views. Like it's way off for TikTok. So, but some people prefer the ease of TikTok, being able to pick your phone up and just make a video that way or whatever. I just use YouTube Shorts for that. I don't bother to use TikTok, whatever. Are you on TikTok, 3Dub?
I am. What's funny is my videos that I edit get skyrocketed on TikTok, but they're shit on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like basically the algorithm doesn't push it out like TikTok does.
Yeah. So here's what we're hearing now. And this is kind of interesting to me because I believe that Trump spoke on this recently where he said they were close to selling it to someone. This was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But it says here, TikTok will launch a new US only app version on September 5th. This will help with the sale. All right. So let's talk about why this is an issue. Number one, we're not sure if this means we're going to be able to access all of TikTok or if it's just going to be US people. If it's just going to be US people, just throw it in the trash. That's pretty much it. I don't see any reason to be on an app, a social media app, like that already underpays people for engagement when you're not going to be, if it's not worldwide, the value of it is going to be a fraction of what it's worth now. You're not going to make, if you're a creator on TikTok, you live in the United States, this is pretty much like you might as well cut your wealth down by like 70%. Like in terms of what your value is on TikTok. So it's just right out the gate. If it's not going to be worldwide, it's a wrap. Nobody wants that. TikTok will disappear into oblivion. This will be worse than when Vine went away. It's just nobody will want to use it at that point. But my concern is if it is going to be a US only app, what kind of rules and regulations will it have to adhere to? Because right now it's under a different set of rules and regulations because of the fact that it's owned by an international company and it has a lot of people in charge of it. A smaller version of TikTok, right, that is US only, could be purchased by one person or a couple of people in the US, and then they could do exactly what Elon has done to Twitter, which is make it a shithole. They could do the same thing with TikTok. Thirdly, actually, is TikTok's value is in the algorithm. If you're selling or building another TikTok to sell to somebody in the United States, they're not getting that algorithm, which means everybody has to start at the beginning again. Like, say, for example, you're a TikTok person with 5 million followers. Once this app launches, you have to start at 1 again. Because you will not be able to access the international one. So all of that value is gone. So you're losing the value of the algorithm. You're losing the value of being a brand that's international. You're losing the value of all of the creators that have spent time building up their TikToks to put this app out. It's done, fam. Throw it away. Throw it away. There's no point in doing this. Who wants to buy an app called TikTok that has nothing in it? Why would you buy that? Why would anybody buy that? I mean, does the government want to buy it and start using it for like government stuff If so, no one's going to be there. This doesn't make any sense. So yeah, this is crazy. And the whole thing is that, oh, supposedly because TikTok, you know, has all these ties to China, blah, 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 these other things. Spoiler alert, everyone. If you're using any social media, your information has already been assimilated by that social media site. And they might say, oh, well, it's definitely not China. It doesn't matter. Your information is out there. If China wants it, there are ways for it to ways for them to get that information. That's just the reality of the world we live in. It just is. So I see this as a net negative overall, because it just doesn't make any sense. The value of TikTok is in what it is. It's like the whole CW argument again, everyone. Let's switch. It always goes back to the Arrowverse 3W. It always goes back to the Arrowverse, right? The value of the CW was in the shows that were on the CW, not the name CW, not the network CW. It was the stuff that was on that network that made it popular. It is the same thing with TikTok. Buying a brand new app called TikTok that has no algorithm to work. It hasn't built a whole new algorithm from start. Excuse me. No creators to make content for it. No international market. So if you're a company, like you're marketing a TV show or a movie that's going to be, for international people, good luck getting them to pay for that on the American TikTok. Also, like you're talking about the music thing, they would have to work out another deal.
Mm-hmm. My question is, if they can make an app, why call it M2? That's like worse than Max.
Call it what?
M2. Why? Like, if they can create a app, why are they calling it M2? That's shitty.
It just, none of it makes any sense. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen here is this is going to be a complete bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to work. This is another one of those fuck around and find out moments where people think this is a good idea. It's not. It's just not. Oh, Cody goes, I learned this recently, but Samsung is giving your info to ICE through Find My Mobile? What? Y'all, it's crazy. Use a VPN for everything. I highly suggest using a VPN for everything you're doing on the internet as often as you can. So, all right. With that being said, where is everybody, by the way?
I'm here.
No, I mean, I know you're here, but
I think Jake's still on holiday.
No, Jake's back.
Oh, Jake's back. Okay. Darren's live, I think. Of course, I saw it.
He's live at 11:40 at night.
Someone said that.
That's crazy. 11:40.
I mean, we're live at 11:40.
Yeah, but this is my normal streaming time.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have an issue with it. It's just I'm like I didn't expect that. I'm like, what? He's live at 11:40. All right, so we are already 2 minutes outside of my schedule. 3Dub, it's your fault because bringing up the TikTok thing. All right, Cameron here with the $5 super chat. Okay, very quickly, guys. It is a 10 super chat goal night. It's any tier, so it doesn't matter. You can donate any tier and it counts. But appreciate everything you guys can do to support the channel. Cameron Walker with a $5 super chat says, Eric, have you seen that Rush Hour now comes with a content warning because of Gen Z? Are we talking about the trying to think, Rush Hour 1? The first Rush Hour? Hold on. Let me see what this is. I'm not familiar with this one. All right, hold on. Yeah, it's the original Rush Hour. This is what was posted. It says, we love our 90s buddy comedies, but this movie was created at a different time. Certain depictions, language, and humor may seem outdated and at times offensive. I guess it's because it's kind of making fun of Jackie Chan's accent and stuff. I don't really remember much about the
I mean, he
stuff in
kind
that
of does
movie.
it when he's filming. I mean, he goes cheese.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I feel like this might be because of the racial stereotypes in the film.
Mm.
Because I haven't watched the original one in forever.
Yeah, he does. The co-star does kind of like mock him. Like, I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Basically, is what he said.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, I understand why people wouldn't. I guess why they would find it offensive now. But I always view old media as like in hindsight, not in foresight. Like, how would they have known? You know what I mean? Like, those things were normal back then. Even it doesn't make it right, but it was normal. So I think a content warning is fine with me. I don't have an issue with that personally, but I mean, so I guess some people could. Whatever. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for that one. I grew up in that era, so for me, it was just that was normal stuff that I saw on TVs and movies. Silhouette Animator with the $5 super chat. With how corrupt the negativity and fear mongering in the news media is, I'm not surprised they want a movie with a symbol of hope, Superman to fail. Yeah, we'll talk more about that when we get to that portion. Silhouette Animator. I made a video earlier today, which, by the way, I'm going to be doing 2 short videos a day every day, Monday through Thursday. So it'll always be some sort of like just an opinion piece or talking about like a news blurb or something like that. But I'm going to try and do that for the next 4 weeks to see if it helps or hurts the channel. We'll see. But if you guys are wondering, there'll be 2 videos a day, one around lunchtime and one in the evening. So make sure you guys have your notifications turned on and all that. But yeah, I have a theory about what's happening with like Variety and Hollywood Reporter and Screen Rant and all these other outlets. We'll dive into that when we get there. Thank you for the super chat. Naruto with a $5 super chat. Hey, Eric, I'm guessing it happened a while ago, but just want to say congrats on getting engaged. Yeah, it happened a very long time ago. It happened like during COVID. And everything kept getting pushed back because weddings got pushed back. There were 2 years of backlogged weddings because of COVID, because nobody could go out and have a wedding. So we're about, I guess, a half a year out before we can actually tie the knot. But thank you. I appreciate it. Cam with a $5 super chat. Eric, have you seen that James Gunn and Zack Snyder were on this week's episode of Rick and Morty? I wanted to show it here, but apparently it's getting flagged. So we can't. But yes, I did see it. It was a funny clip. It's kind of making fun of all the drama between Snyder fans and James Gunn fans. I wish I could show it, but you know, it is what it is. All right, let's see here. I think that's it. We're 4 out of 10. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Chevy says, did Chris Tucker's character give Jackie Chan's character an N-word pat? Oh, yeah, that did happen. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. South Texas Shark. It brings it up too. Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense now. Now I totally get it. All right. No more confusion from me. I forgot about that happening in the movie.
Me too.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. Okay. So let's do this here. Where's it at? Okay. So let me pull up the tweet over here so we have it on screen. And I think it's towards the top because it was one of the topics that I picked at the end right before tonight's stream. I got so many Superman things bookmarked, it's crazy. Okay. So this is about the upcoming Harry Potter series, and Jason Isaacs, who is an alum for Harry Potter, had an interesting quote here that I wanted to talk about a little bit. So Jason Isaac calls out racist why do they put racist in quotes?
Because apparently it's important.
I guess. I mean, I would put the whole thing in quotes, not just the word racist, but whatever. Racist fans for being outraged by Pape Essedo's playing Snape in HBO's upcoming series. And this is the quote he says. Pape Essedo is one of the best actors I've seen in my life. I've seen some people online who are being rude about him what they're being is racist. All the cast of the new Harry Potter TV series are amazing. They'll be swallowing their tongues, hopefully, you know, their digital tongues, when they see what he does on screen. I don't know if the second half of that is true. I think people that are being racist probably don't care about how good of an actor he is. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that. I think that if people are being racist towards actors, they don't really care much about the writing, the directing, the acting. Like, if that's the sole reason they're saying stuff clearly, there's a problem with that. Look, I'm an Alan Rickman fan. Like, I really loved Alan Rickman, not only in that role, but just about everything that I ever saw him in. So yeah, I appreciate that. But I think there's this weird thing that we do as fans, and I don't know if people do it intentionally or not, but we have this parasocial relationship with characters in movies and TV shows where we feel like they kind of belong to us and they don't. You know what I mean? They're not ours to own and control and manipulate as much as we want them to be. Like, in your own life, you can feel that way. Like, if you're reading a book and you're thinking about like how you want things to happen, or you're creating fanfics in your head, you can do that. But when it comes to the actual stuff that's being made and the people that are being cast and the creators creating stuff, I mean, because J.K. Rowling's already said that she's had, whether we like it or not, she's had pretty big connections with the making of this TV show. And so she's approved pretty much everything that's happened based on what we can tell. And she says that she wouldn't fire. I don't think she can, but she said she wouldn't fire anybody that's part of the cast now. So that tells me that she approves of it. So it's hers. Look, I don't like her. I don't think she's a good person, but the thing is, this is her property to change however she wants. And you can either be okay with that and say, I'm going to support it, or you say, no, I'm not okay with that and I don't support it. I think attacking the actor is weird, because that's like attacking somebody for getting hired in a job. You know what I mean? Like, if you're mad at Walmart, why are you attacking somebody that got hired by Walmart? They don't have anything to do with that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is one of those parasocial things where people don't know how to take themselves out of the emotional feelings they have about something. That's the reality of it. There's very few things in my life where I feel so emotionally connected to it that I have to try and make someone else feel like shit, because I think that's wrong. Like, I wouldn't go out of my way to make someone feel like shit, and I certainly wouldn't go out of my way to say racist things about someone, which I think is really fucking weird. I don't know.
I mean, if you're so attached to this specific cast, you don't have to support the new cast.
You can just enjoy the old stuff, right? Just enjoy the old stuff.
Just go back to the old stuff. I mean, it's there for a reason.
Look, there's a lot of shows where I like the old versions. There's a lot of movies where I like the old versions, and I just watch those. I don't watch the new stuff.
Sometimes movies are perfect, like, representation of what you love, and if they tried to reboot it, you don't support it because you're so invested with that particular movie.
I'm going to give a really great example here. I love Coming to America. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, crossing all genres, it's probably in my top 3. One of my favorite movies of all time. However, there's a lot of inappropriate stuff in that just will not work today. They released a few years ago Coming to America 2, and I hated it. But I don't blame any of the people on the cast that got hired in those roles. It's not on them. They were participating in something they thought was going to be great, you know, and I hated it. Did I go online and say negative things to them? No. Did I find them on social media and tag them in it and say they ruined my childhood? No. I didn't do any of those things. I simply don't watch that fucking movie ever again. Like, that's my thing. I'll just never watch that movie again. Anyway, Vanessa here says that her involvement is why I won't watch. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are personally boycotting it because of that reason. I've stated before, I'm not a big Harry Potter person. I never cared much for it, but I know a lot of people grew up with it, and they do have sort of like a childhood memory of what Harry Potter was, you know? And so I get that part of it. So me not watching it or not paying for a streaming service to watch it doesn't really matter. Like, me personally boycotting it doesn't exist because I'm probably not going to be watching it right away anyway. But I get why some people. Yeah, I get why some people that way. Omega, so I was just thinking of coming to America. Yeah, there's a link in the Twitter if you want to join us. Unless you're at work, you might be at work. Anyway, we'll drop this down. We got some. Oh, is that a new logo? That's your new logo, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Connor here. Charlie Manx, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. They think that if Snape is black, the people will believe that James Potter will. Oh, okay. When he bullies. Got it. Okay. That's interesting. Paigey brought this up too about the whole like conversations that are going to be had between Harry and Snape and basically any other character when it comes to like the racial parts of it, the ethnic parts of it. I don't know how they're going to handle this. They say it's going to be really closely connected to the books, but they are casting things outside of like what the book said or described.
I think they're going to take liberty and change that because of the situation. I don't think. I would think if that actually happened in the books, I don't think they will touch base on it. I don't think they will show it.
You think they're just going to ignore it altogether?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Omega has jumped in. I don't know if he's at home or if he's at work.
No, I'm at home. I'm off today.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just working on some other side. I figured I'd probably jump in and troll y'all for a bit.
Okay. That sounds good.
And earlier you were talking about, you don't go out your way to insult people or say racist stuff. You call me fat on a regular basis. I'm kidding.
You know, the funny thing is, Omega, and this is one thing that we haven't really talked about because we've known each other since the 90s. So we've known each other for a really long time. Our group growing up was very very DEI. It was very diverse. We had like a range of ages and sizes and people from different races, people from different countries that were part of our group and stuff. And never once was that ever an issue with anybody.
Nope.
I don't remember any instance where any of that was ever a problem. And this was back in the 90s.
Yeah, we never had any sort of racial issues or anything like that. No one ever was like racist or anything like that towards each other. I mean, we were assholes to each other, of course. But, that's how guy groups are. We bond by being assholes to each other. But no, it's like we were everyone was cool. I mean, like me, you, your brother. We had several other people. We had another dude who was half Japanese, half black. Another dude who was half. I think he's half white, half black. I can't remember.
We also had Carlos from Puerto Rico as well that used to hang out back in the day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, damn! I forgot all about him.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, I just want to point out that I guess the difference in me and some of these other people on the internet is my life has always been surrounded by people from different backgrounds. Like, ever since I was in high school, it's been like that. So for me, hearing people complain about this stuff seems really weird because I don't remember a time where my life was ever just all white people all the time.
Yeah, it just wasn't an issue. I was around, like, early in my life, let's be real, we were in the hood, but then we moved out, and then I was around a bunch of, around predominantly white people, and so I was kind of like around a group of many different people. So it's just that whole thing was just never an issue to me. I just think it's weird that it is.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it sometimes because, like I said, for me, the concept of diversity has just been existing in the world. You know what I mean? Like, there was times we'd play, like, video, like, even back in the day, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, you had a wide variety of characters from different walks of life, from different backgrounds, and everybody just sort of, rolled with it. There was no issue. So, I don't even know. I'll be honest, I don't know. So that's why I make fun and clown these people that do this because it's giving off very, like, weak
it's kind of
energy.
Just, what's wrong with you? Like, why is it such a huge fucking issue? Like, god damn. Like, they show, like, okay, there's a black person on screen who's not a freaking maid or a freaking butler, in that route that rustles your jennies, man. Shut up.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Mess, man.
I don't get it. All right, so we have another super chat. We are already 6 out of 10, so we're only 4 away from hitting our goal. And 3Dub, remind me in an hour to put the poll up.
Got it. Nah, you remembered to remind me.
Cameron here with a $5 super chat. Eric, do you think MCU is going to resolve the Sharon Carter story from the Falcon and Winter Soldier before Doomsday Scene? No. No. Not at all. I mean, I feel like, honestly, in general, they're just going to walk away from this one. Like, we might see the Sharon Carter character show up, but I don't think they're going to talk about any stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're going to bring up anything. There's a possibility everybody could show up between the two movies. So, but as far as resolving it, no. I mean, I feel like this is one of those things where you might as well just hang up, like, ever getting an answer for this one. I don't know. You guys disagree with me at all? Like, Sharon Carter in the MCU?
Apparently Jaybird does.
I never really watched a lot of those shows, but being that MCU's progressed so far now, I think they probably forgot all about those. They probably forgot all about those storylines.
Yeah. So, Thomas, I don't have an issue with comparing actors based on merit, but we haven't seen Pape as Snape, so every comment is about him being black. There's nothing like what criticism can you give him as an actor in this role when nobody's even seen him play the character yet?
Yeah, I barely even followed. Sorry, go ahead. I barely even followed that stuff. So, sorry.
No, you can go finish your thought.
I was saying, I barely even follow that stuff, and it's like, all I'm seeing just through basically just through osmosis, just from trolling, just from going through Twitter and whatnot. This is like the only criticism I see is like, why are they? This is black fatigue. Why are they having a black person play a white character? It's like, since when? I'm not familiar with the Harry Potter books, but how is Snape described?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a big enough Harry Potter
Harry Potter
fan. I had to say all that as well. It's a tongue twister. I'm not big enough to know all of the lore and backstory. I just know what I saw in the movie. So yeah, I mean, I would probably compare his portrayal in the show to the movies, but we haven't seen anything from the show. So there's no point me trying to compare how good he's going to be when we don't know. And Thomas, I'm not saying that you're doing that. This isn't me singling you out for that. I'm saying, like, in general, you can compare actor. Like, I could compare David Cornsweet to any other previous Superman actor after I've seen the movie. Like, that's how that works. Like, I'm not going to say he's not good before I've seen the movie because I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that and one other thing I wanted to add is like, it's the whole Doctor Who thing all over again. It's like Doctor Who changes every season, and then when they finally made Doctor Who a woman, people got all up in arms. I mean, granted, that season was still ass, but that wasn't her fault. It was the writing. The writing didn't.
But see, that's the point, right? So you literally just proved my point. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the season not being well written. That's the problem.
Yeah, the season was just ass, and now Doctor Who's gonna be a black dude, and oh my god, why is this darky being in Doctor Who?
No, not the. You went there on that one, but it's already happened.
I will go there.
He's already had like 2 seasons though. He's already done 2 seasons of the show now. So,
is it good? I haven't been following.
I liked the first season that he was in. The second season that he did, I did not like as much. But Darren preferred the second season over the first season. So, anyway,
that's cool.
All right, so let's talk about. We're not going to talk spoilers, but we're going to talk about numbers because this is really important. If you're into movies, that is. So,
not really.
Jurassic World Rebirth crossed 300 million and beats Minecraft movie as the biggest global opening at box office in 2025. I just want to put this out there. There's one person in this panel that said that this movie was going to do great in its opening week. One person that believed in this movie. And he happens to be at the top of the cameras right here.
I just don't care about you.
No, I'm not saying you, but like no one else is here to defend themselves in this one because they were all against me, talking about like they thought it wasn't going to do well, blah blah blah, etc. etc. When I tell you guys that dinosaurs sell, they sell. It's dinosaurs. Yeah. Like that's just what it is. And I'm going to defend parts of this movie. I know I'm up against the wall on this one. Lance disagreed with me. Several people disagree with me. I will defend this movie because I understand, and they don't. Spoiler alert, I'm right. They're wrong. I understand what this movie was trying to do, right? So it says here, Scarlett Johansson shattering projections overseas with a 171 million 5-day international opening over 81 markets. Allied to its 147.3 million 5-day debut in the U.S., the new Jurassic World film with a 180 million production price tag, not even including marketing, hits 318 million global opening, beating Minecraft movie. This, like, marketing's not even a factor. This movie's going to do extremely well. I have a feeling it's going to have another strong second weekend. This is going to fuck with Superman, though. This is going to fuck with Superman because Superman is going to get less theaters because of this. Okay? We need to unpack this before we even get to Superman. I got to talk about Scarlett Johansson and some other stuff too.
Keep in mind, they're doing this without IMAX too.
Yeah. Cody here says dinosaurs are fucking bulletproof. Yeah. Remember, for 66 months.
Their limbs have been cut with IMAX and they're still like making money.
Yeah. Now, do I think this movie is going to make $1 billion? We need to wait until we get to the second weekend. Once we get to the second weekend and I can see what the drop-off is, then I'll be able to say if I think it is or if it isn't. I think it's got a very good probability of crossing like 800, 900 million at the box office. Sundawn, I've bookmarked a few things about Fantastic Four. If it's something that came out in the last 30, 40 minutes, I probably haven't seen it yet. So here's the deal with this. And I wanted to, I pulled the information up over here. We're not going to share it on screen because it's a lot, but so it did a Wednesday opening. Why are movies opening on Wednesday now? Now Wednesday is the new Thursday. Pretty soon movies are just going to be perpetually released. They're just going to be out. Like, you never know. It's going to come out whatever. 30 million, 30.5 million. Thursday did 26.3. Friday did 26.3. And Saturday did 36.5. That's crazy. So this is the biggest global opening for a 2025 Hollywood film. Second best international opening of 2025. Top 20 single day grosses for their Wednesday on 30.5 million. Records in China. Biggest studio opening day in China for 2025. Second biggest Motion Picture Association single day gross of 2025. In Chile, it opened as the biggest of all of the movies in the franchise. Australia was the biggest opening day of 2025. Hong Kong had the biggest opening day of 2025. Third highest 5-day July 4th opening in history. So number 3 in that list. Rebirth's 3-day opening of 91.5 million is the lowest among the Jurassic World trilogy from 2015 to 2022, but higher than the original trilogy. It falls between Lost World Dominion. So there's a domestic downturn. However, the international numbers were up. The global openings were up. And this goes back to what we said about a lot of international movies. When you're talking about translating from like English to countries that don't speak English as their main language, you have to have this kind of stuff to bring people in. Stuff they can watch where there's not a lot of dialogue to worry. Because we all know Americans are really bad at trying to read fucking subtitles. Americans don't want to read subtitles. They will not watch a fucking anime or an international show if they've got to read subtitles. It's always a fucking pain. Oh, Darren has arrived.
I mean,
What's up,
I
Darren?
kind of, if I'm really invested in a show, I would literally go to subs because I need the rest of the story.
I'm saying though, some people, if it doesn't have a dub, they're not going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen people complaining about Netflix not dubbing everything, so some of it's in subtitles or whatever. But the point being is, the reason why Michael Bay movies do so big overseas is because they are big action films. Action movies, like Marvel movies, the big Marvel films, do well because they're big action films. They perform better internationally than most of the other projects. Dinosaurs are almost universally loved everywhere, which is what universally means.
Yeah.
And that's why it did so well. And I think it's quite interesting, actually. Darren, do you have any thoughts on this?
What are we kind of talking about? What's the
the successful opening weekend of Jurassic World Rebirth and the possibilities of it doing well at the box office over the
What-
next
what-
couple
By
years.
the
Go
way,
ahead.
before you go in, what were did you get more out of what you're wanting for the dinosaur movies?
No, actually.
I don't think a lot of people. No, I would say I don't think a lot of people did. We had that discussion a little bit the other day.
Yeah, like I can go into that into a second if you want, but like, yeah, I like I've been seeing people be shocked by this. They're like, really, it did so well? Yeah, it did well. Of course it did. Like Eric, we talked about this like 2 years ago.
I just said earlier before you came in that everyone that told me it wasn't going to do well on the panel, like I don't know what they were thinking. I knew it was going to do well.
This week has proved me one thing. I think this might be the most unstoppable franchise of all time.
Yeah.
I really do, because they have now produced, and you can say what you want about some of these movies. I would say there hasn't been like an excellent Jurassic movie
Since
right?
the first
Like-
one, right?
like-
Since the very first one, yeah.
Everyone has their rankings and like their list, but like there hasn't been one that like blew people away from the first one, and people do not care. This is a movie where people just want to see dinosaurs eat people, and I want more, and I think a lot of people do want more, but I think to the general public, we get to see hot, attractive actors with cool looking dinosaurs in cool places, and they love it. It is the definition of a popcorn flick, and it just it will do well again and again and again.
And guess what? I had popcorn while we were watching it. So
I did too. I
see,
did too.
the proof is in the popcorn.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I'm
like
still
sequels
laughing
are
at
coming. Sequels are coming. This is at least going to guarantee at least one more.
I
but
mean, look, they have already crossed the threshold of making their money back, even if you like skew the numbers a little bit, which means that everything from here forward is all going to be like money for them. You know,
a sequel will be greenlit this week, I think, and I think like I don't know if you have this on like your docket, but like Scarlett Johansson just got announced as like one of the highest paid.
yeah, that's we're
actors
gonna
of
go.
all
We're gonna
time.
segue into that one too. Yeah, I got that. So Jake has arrived. He's back from vacation.
I
I
have
told him
arrived.
Sorry,
How was
Yeah,
it?
me and Darren are gonna be tired as hell by the end of the night.
this is our third stream of tonight.
I was gonna say, like, I even looked at the clock. I was like, "What? They're still live at this time of night?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
we decided
Darren
to
learned.
do a ranking 2 hours in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like, oh, we
tonight,
got it.
because right now, chat, let me know if it's already come out or not. And don't say what it is. Just tell me if it's come out. Right after we talk about this, we're gonna start talking about Superman. I think we're gonna get Rotten Tomato scores. I think we're gonna get reviews. Things are gonna be dropping any minute now if they haven't already dropped. So we're gonna go over a lot of that, and we're gonna talk about the controversy that I feel like.
Fox News thing.
Well, not just Fox News, but in general, like these outlets like Variety and Hollywood Reporter,
Yeah.
like it feels like it's almost targeting at this point.
I want to ask this, Eric. Are you? I know. I think Darren said you were holding off on this for a little bit. Are you doing any lists tonight or no?
No, because if yeah, I understand that short car. I'm talking about like the not the reviews, but like the little blurbs you get on Rotten Tomatoes. They said it was going to be after 12. It's 12:07.
They are out. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
seeing people posting
Okay.
reviews.
As soon as we get done talking about Scarlett Johansson, we'll jump into the Superman stuff because I want to talk about that a little bit. But no, we're going to be talking about Superman for most of the next hour, so I don't think we're going to get to any bonuses tonight. We'll do bonuses on Thursday.
Cool.
Because I wasn't totally sure if you were going to be back anyway, so I didn't really plan for it. I know you told me, but I forgot. I have a very short memory. So.
No worries. Yeah, no. I said yesterday that I got back in the group chat.
I did see that, but I had already like planned on not doing it, so I was like, I'm not gonna change it. So, all right.
How was your
So,
vacation, Jake? By the way.
Not long enough.
Real.
all right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So we're gonna leave this on screen, but I do want to talk about this, and we're gonna tie this into the whole like everything to do Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. So Variety had posted that Scarlett Johansson is now the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
Yeah.
More than The Rock?
Yes. Scarlett Johansson has become the highest paid actor in Hollywood, a milestone highlighting progress in gender pay equality, but also underscoring ongoing disparities. So against all odds, she has managed to become the highest paid actor. And that was even after dealing with that Black Widow shit with Marvel, which had the potential to ruin her value in Hollywood, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, she has kind of been the very universal, like, actress for the last 10 years. Like, I mean, you know, just look at, like, the MCU. Like, the MCU
Universal.
alone, which, like, you know, like like the MCU alone is where I think a lot of that comes in. She's in two Captain America movies, 4 Avengers movies, an Iron Man movie. She had a solo movie, which that may have helped somewhat, with the payout she got via that. And
She
then
fell off after a while, though.
She also does like a lot of these indie movies, like Fly Me to the Moon. A lot, and her was a very
Home Alone 3.
She did Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want, but Transformers 1 and Sing 2 and Marriage Story and We Bought a Zoo. Like, she is like, people just universally like her as an actress. I feel like she's an actress that can do any kind of role. And I think Jurassic World is like a big one, because this is like, she's hit this milestone, movie 1. This isn't like her 3rd installment. This is her first one that I can only assume she'll return for a sequel to this, and maybe even a trilogy to this. Like, I don't think this title for her is going away anytime soon. I think she's going to keep this for a couple of years.
Right.
Well, and keep in mind, this is without Marvel now.
Yeah.
Like, she's not in Marvel anymore. Her character was killed off. She's done with Marvel. So, but I want to talk about my thoughts on this and why we're seeing numbers on these kinds of movies. And guys, feel free to disagree with me, obviously, even in the chat. But I believe very strongly that the movies today, especially in our current culture and political climate, people want to go in and turn their brains off for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
And these movies that we're seeing that are doing well this year are movies that reflect that, and they reflect families as well. Yeah. So when I went and saw this movie, and this is anecdotal, but I have heard other people say this, I went to see this movie at 1:00 on a Thursday, and the theater was full of families.
Yeah.
Full of them. And if you look at what's sitting at the top of the sales this year, it's movies like Minecraft, this movie, Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon. These movies are all moving up in sales because I think it reflects that people right now don't want to think too hard when they're going to the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the more people they bring along with them, that's the more tickets that are bought.
Right.
And it's really scary. I think like that precedent is a very scary one, because that tells me, oh, we don't actually have to think too much about the movies we're making. We can just put stuff out and people will love it. If we shine little shiny things in front of them. Oh, you remember this little Lilo and Stitch character? Toothless, Minecraft, dinosaurs. Come watch our movie, guys.
Yeah, and that sends the message that creators don't have to try too hard.
Well, but I want to push back a little bit on that, because I think Gareth did a really good job directing this movie.
I think what he was...
valid. Yeah.
What he was given, yes.
I think the weakness of this movie is in the script.
Yes, and it's sad because it's coming from David Koepp. Great screenwriter, but I think he needed someone else.
So my theory is, and this is something that my friends said when we came out of the movie, is there was there was 2 opinions of the movie. Was the movie entertaining if you just watch the movie and you're watching what the actors are doing, and each segment of the film is a little story that you're watching without thinking about the big picture of the film? Yes, it's absolutely entertaining. Once you get going, once they get on that boat and the story starts, it does not stop until the end of the movie.
Right.
It's pretty much balls to the wall at that point.
Yeah.
The weakness is the establishing setup of the film and how that plays out throughout the movie.
It's like 45 minutes just to like get to the island, which is.
And not only that, but the story, the setup of the story, and I feel like this is not too much of a spoiler. I think people probably know this already, but they're going there because they're getting paid to go and get blood samples from 3 different large dinosaurs, and it's to heal heart disease. That's the setup of the movie. Which you find out very early in the film that's what they're doing. It's pretty much within the first 20 minutes of the movie. And so that is the setup. And a lot of people feel like that setup is very weak. It's not a very strong, compelling setup for this movie or for the series. A lot of people have said in the era of drones, you could set off the island and just send a drone in there to do this without ever having a person go into the island. Like, there's a lot of things that feel like they could have been done that weren't done. Like, why are people on the island when you can simply send in a drone? And then there's no loss of life. There's no risk. So anyway, there's a lot of things that people said about it.
Then you would get people that would complain that was a cop-out.
Well, it would be, because then you wouldn't have a movie. But that's the whole point. Is that I think that the script had to be done in a way that made it believable but also accessible. I think, and this is what I said to you, Darren, I feel like this movie was trying to sort of reset back to the early vibes of Jurassic Park, where they're going to the island and it's just a sort of an adventure on the island. There's no extra layers to it, which is something that I thought this was going to be successful, and I was kind of rolling with loaded dice because the franchise has been good anyway. So
which is kind of like, I don't know, like I said for months now that I wanted something like, personally, I wanted something different. I wanted them to try something new, experiment with the franchise. And like I said previously, it makes me scared because they're not necessarily trying anything new. They're kind of sticking to what's safe, and they're being rewarded for it.
Right.
And so that tells me, well, 2, 3, 4 more of these in the exact same formula, in the exact same way. Like, to me, there is an element in this movie, like we follow like another family in this movie. And I actually found that other subsect of those characters slightly more fascinating for this story. Like, I kind of liked the idea of, like, people who don't know what they're doing having to tackle these dinosaurs, because it's always, like, experts, right? It's always, like, people who, know everything about these dinosaurs and, they're scientists and stuff like that. I liked this, like, little family that's like, oh, well, they don't know what they're doing and they're trying to go, do their personal problems. And I think if you focused on like the smaller stuff in here, I would have been more into it, I think. But
I think so. The other thing is, and I'm not trying to make excuses because you're absolutely right. I do think that one half of the story was more interesting than the other. But I believe they included the family to sort of appeal to the families coming to the theater.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they were in the
knew it was
film.
Yeah, I'm saying it should have just been them.
Yeah,
I think it should have just been like I would have
or pick one or the other. I feel like you had to pick one or the other. Like that's a fair.
You couldn't develop both of them because you were struggling with screen time.
Yeah, I think like the idea of a family being out to sea and then getting shipwrecked on the island would have been a very compelling story to sort of return it to the basics.
Yes, yeah.
But instead we got this. It's sort of a combination of like Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic Park 3 kind of combined into one.
You can return it to the basics and still tell that story in a new way.
But look, we're absolutely wrong because the movie's doing really well, so nothing we say matters, I guess.
What do we know? Yeah,
like, exactly.
If Dominion can make $1 billion, anything can happen.
Yeah. I do believe that if this movie... Okay, so let's move on. We're going to talk about Superman now. We got a bunch to talk about when it comes to Superman. My concern with the Jurassic World success means not good things for Superman this weekend. Not because I think that they're going to be competing for sales, although they will. I don't think that's the biggest issue. I think it's the lack of available theaters for Superman. Because usually on a second weekend, if a movie underperforms, they would say, hey, we're going to get rid of some of these theaters and we'll bring in like whatever the next movie is. But when I went to my theater, my local theater, Superman was not listed as the big movie this upcoming week. The movie with the most theaters was Jurassic World.
Yeah.
So Jurassic World, it's a 10 theater Cineplex. 5 of them were for Jurassic World, 3 of them were for Superman, and the other ones were for like a couple other different movies.
Well, they already had the past week of numbers for Jurassic World to go off of, so that's probably what they're using to make that decision.
Yeah. I'm curious what the rewatchability for Jurassic World is, because what helped Jurassic World a lot this weekend was it was 4th of July weekend. All the families were in town. Had a lot of kids around. Hey, let's go watch a dinosaur movie. The word of mouth hasn't been great, what I've seen. Like, it did very well, but like very few people are coming out of it and being like, guys, you have got to see this movie. You got to go see it. Most of it, on TikTok and Twitter. And to be fair, our demographic is different than the main people that are going to go see this movie. But I haven't seen a lot of people being like, guys, you got to go see this. It's like, it's another Jurassic Park. But I do feel like, hopefully, and we'll see this in a second, hopefully the word of mouth for Superman is going to be like, holy shit, movie of the year, superhero movie of the decade, blah, 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 blah. And maybe that's me wishful thinking. Maybe that's me just holding on to any hope that it can do well. But I hope.
It's really going to rely on the word of mouth because it's not coming out on a holiday weekend. So I think that's really what gave Jurassic World the boost. And I've said this too.
Yeah.
The thing that's going to be most telling for Superman is that 2 weeks before Fantastic Four comes out. So that'll be the most telling to see how Superman
looking at the way things are now, I believe that Superman is in the worst spot because it's sandwiched between two big movies, and those movies have lots of breathing room on either side, and Superman doesn't. So
Fantastic Four has all of August. They have all of August to profit.
There's like nothing after it.
What, you have Bad Guys 2? Freaky Friday 2? No one cares.
Oh no, my favorite movie.
Like, Bad Guys 2 is probably going to do okay, but like...
Whose idea was it to like basically keep Superman in the middle of two well-known franchises?
James Gunn didn't budge on that. He I think there's a reason why a significant
like
date.
Stepfather's birthday or something that he really loved.
It's also my mom's birthday.
You know what? The reality is, if Superman came out the second week in August, it would have a whole month to itself, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're missing that like prime summer blockbuster. Like kids are back in school. You're missing a lot of the prime marketing that summer marketing.
So is Fantastic Four and Jurassic World split fairly? Oh, he just left. Is Fantastic Four like spaced like is it spaced enough to where it doesn't matter if they compete?
It's not gonna. By the time Fantastic Four comes out, Jurassic World's not gonna have much legs left.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're still going to be like. It depends how long they want to keep it in theaters, because I do think Jurassic World is a movie that, like, a couple months in, some people are still going to be like, "Oh, Jurassic World! I know Jurassic movies.
Right.
I'm gonna go watch that."
Right. Well, you also have Fantastic Four, which again is going to be something that a lot of families go see. But I think, at least, we haven't seen the movie yet, but I think word of mouth is going to spread a lot more positively for that one, so it'll kind of take the reins from Jurassic Park.
Here's what I'll say though, like I think Fantastic Four is the least like recognizable name out of the like 4 July movies.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want, but like Superman is a more recognizable character. Fantastic Four, Jurassic World is a very recognizable brand. Arguably, even Smurfs is a more recognizable brand than Fantastic Four.
First Fantastic Four movie from Tim Story turns 20 tomorrow.
Yeah. And also, it doesn't have a great reputation among moviegoers. Like,
Right.
Fan Four Stick was the last one we got, and then like I love those two other ones, but they're not regarded as like great movies, right? So.
Oh wait.
It's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Jake! It's officially your birthday.
Oh yeah, it is the 8th now.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks,
birthday time.
appreciate it.
It's kind of funny too.
Nobody
'cause
brought cake.
I don't want to work today.
It's kind of funny too. I don't like dinosaurs, but I like Godzilla. I mean,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Let's see here. We have a super chat. We're 8 out of 10 now. Actually 7 out of 10. One is a member chat. Sorry, my math was off. Cody here says Superman has to reach 500 million to break even on a $200 million budget. That scares me.
Is it 200 million? Is that the
yeah,
budget?
I think they did confirm it is 200 million, but there's a lot of actors to pay. I think that's what drove the budget up.
Damn.
I mean, that's still less than Man of Steel's budget.
Yeah, but again, I think Superman is in a bad spot. Like, I think the release is bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Whoa.
Chainsaw said, "I heard the Superman watches Jake's channel. Makes sense. Happy birthday." That's so funny.
Wait. So you're telling me aliens watch my channel? You know what? I'm not even getting into that.
All right, so let's look at some reviews. We got a really long one from
Yes,
we got a long one from Eric Davis, and Eric Davis is with, I believe, one of the outlets, Fandango. That's it. So I've
Not
read
a
his
lot of
before.
outlets.
He's a pretty fair reviewer. So we will see. It doesn't look like there's any spoilers. I'm kind of breezing through here. Okay. So this is going to be our first wing. We're going to dive into the controversy, don't worry. But this is going to be the first thing we're going to talk about here is this. We got a lot to talk about. I'm sure you guys have already covered the controversy anyway. But, all right. So, sorry, she's in the way. She's got her surgery. She's got her surgery in a week and a half, so she's trying to show off for everybody. All right. Here we go. Eric Davis says, James Gunn's Superman is the perfect superhero movie. Wow. That's
Yeah, people said the same thing about The Flash.
but I'm saying wow, like I don't like when people hype it up a little bit too hard, but we'll see.
That feels overkill. Yeah.
It does. And a terrific start. See, he could have said James Gunn's Superman is a terrific start for for DC Studios. That's where I would have left that. But anyway, it's big, bright, exciting, full of hope, and it never loses a sense of wonder. Watching it felt like ripping open a comic book and feasting on its wild, chaotic imagination. Loved it. Okay. Pretty high praise. All right, let's move on here. Gunn sets up his universe right from the start and jumps into Superman's story where he's at his lowest point. Interesting. It's narrative choices like that which help make it feel unlike any Superman story we've experienced on the big screen. Gunn goes out of his way to change things up and shake loose our expectations, but it still plays like a classic Superman adventure at the same time. Fair enough. Nicholas Hoult absolutely crushes as Lex Luthor, and Eddie Gathegi very much steals scenes as Mr. Terrific. He also has my favorite line delivery in the film, too. Well, now I'm going to have to pay attention to that. It's the relationship between Clark and Lois that ultimately won me over, though. It's well written, and those two have some sizzling chemistry. It's almost like this is the complete opposite of that review the other day that dropped that we talked about, where they said that Clark and Lois didn't have a lot of on-screen time. So... do they have good chemistry, or is there not a lot of screen time? I'm not totally sure. Goes on here to say, this is a departure from the previous modern era DC movies. It's lighter tonally, but it's still a very emotional and timely, and it definitely wears its heart on its cape. Okay, I like that pun. I also adore the subtle nods to Donner's 78 Superman. Gunn has become a master at delivering a well-rounded cinematic experience that truly gives you all the feels, and his Superman film is another winner in my book. Very much looking forward to what comes up next. Look up, DC is back. Okay. Any thoughts on this review before we kind of move on?
Here's what I'll say. Like, I think like we've been definitely burned at those
Rangers.
premiere screening reviews, because I do think like, just from what I've seen from people, I think like that experience can cloud people's judgment. But I don't think is a bad thing, right? Like if I got to go meet the cast of the movie and interview people from the movie and sit and be the first people in the world to watch the movie, I'd probably have a good reaction to, right? So I think these first nights, and I think everything we hear tonight, we have to take with a little bit of grain of salt. We have to be like, okay, but they also had a really great experience along with this, because
I feel the same way about it always. Is these early reviews, I basically just kind of like have to just sort of take it in for what it is.
Best example of this, Love and Thunder. When Love and Thunder came out, everyone came out. We're like, this is the best Thor movie. This is awesome. This is amazing. And then 3 days later, everyone's like, this is fucking dog shit.
Who was saying that?
Everyone, when the movie
Not
first
me.
night, that like first review embargo, like everyone's like, this is like the best Thor movie.
That movie came out on my 27th birthday, and I was trashing it from day one.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is I think we just have to take this with like a grain of salt.
Yeah. All right, let's jump over to everybody's favorite movie math person, Grace Randolph here. This is the best Superman movie to date.
Okay.
So that seems, we're talking against like the 1978-79 Superman films. So the Donner.
Keep in mind,
Superman
she also
films.
said like this is a terrible, terrific.
Yeah, she did. She did say that. But look, look, I'm not a Grace Randolph fan by any stretch, but I actually have a little bit more. What word am I looking for here? No, like I actually appreciate when people who say something that's wrong actually corrects it later on. Like, instead of doubling down on it. So, like, if she would have just doubled down on it being awful because of her not liking Mr. Terrific, I probably would have been like, this is typical shit. So I have to give her a little bit of credit. But we'll see, 3-Dub. Maybe she does crash him. I don't know.
Oh, my God. Philip just brought up something hilarious in the chat.
Oh, the man of conversation.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Me and Darren did a reaction to that with a few other people. That clip is just priceless.
It says, when James Gunn gets out of the way and lets his work speak for itself, it's incredible. It's not perfect, but darn close. If it's not... Okay, so she says it's not perfect, but then Eric Davis says it is perfect. So now we see where the problem lies. But darn close. It may be a believer in Gunn's DC. Review embargo listed at 3. So she's got more. There's another actual like full on.
You know that second statement is kind of true.
What, when he gets out of his way?
Yeah.
I mean,
I said kind of true, not all the way, but.
We're not gonna watch a Grace Randolph video. She did put a video out. We're not gonna watch it. We're gonna go with this little blurb here. Hold on. We'll see if there's any other ones that catch my eye, and then we'll talk about the drama.
I sent you the one from Ben just because I thought. That's
Ben has one too. Yeah,
yeah. I just thought that's very.
My Twitter's not working, so I can't pull it up.
Lance, what are you talking? How's that a problem? Everyone has their own. What show are you talking about specifically? I don't know what you're talking about because
I assume Grace Randolph and Mr. Terrific. I would imagine, but I don't know.
maybe.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey, I know. I was responding to a comment.
Let's see. Is it? Hold on, we got.
Okay, how much longer are you going to keep that attractive man's picture on the screen?
Till I find the next one here. All right, here we go. One for Brandon Lewis here. Brandon Lewis is from Geek Vibes Nation, which is everybody's favorite. They actually have me blocked, I think, to be honest.
It's a badge of honor.
You see a problem with it is a problem, Lance. Do you not see the problem with that? Do you not see it? You're not on here for me to talk shit to you like on camera. When you have one person that says something is perfect and another person says it's not perfect, then it leads to confusion when audiences are reading reviews. I don't use the word perfect very lightly, and I don't think anybody should. I think calling something perfect sets up a weird expectation. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's an issue for me.
Just like James Gunn said, he wants to make masterpieces.
Yeah. Perfect isn't really an opinion. It's more of a objective statement. You can say you like it or it's your favorite. Those are subjective, but calling something perfect means that there's no problems with it at all, and it's very hard for you to go, well, in my opinion. It's really hard to do that, I think, when you say perfect.
And you can say that you don't have any problems with it, but using that word perfect.
I mean, put it this way. You could put more nuance in it. Like if Eric wanted to talk more about why he says that might work, but just saying it's perfect and then leaving it at that doesn't really do much.
Lance just got an L.
I think season one. Wait, I thought season one.
I figured that'd be his least favorite season.
Season one? Really? I thought you would say season 3. Anyway.
Javicia, I thought you were a fan of her.
This is from Brandon. Brandon here.
Lance.
Trolling. I know.
Lance, no.
Superman is thrilling and earnest, a comic book brought to life. Okay, so that's like the third review that I've seen where it says that. So that one I feel like is probably accurate. With James Gunn asking intriguing questions about heroism and self-actualization, along wildly creative uses of Clark's powers. Its narrative sprawl leads to some character shakiness, but the new DC hits hard. I mean, okay, fair enough. I'm trying to find someone that has like a contrary opinion, but it's not.
It's woke propaganda.
Yeah. I wanted to speak on that too. Is that the get woke go broke thing? Somebody was bringing this up about Jurassic World Rebirth. It has a woman lead, a black lead, and a gay lead. It's the trifecta. Trifecta of wokeness.
Were they saying it's going broke, or that like?
No. I'm just making the joke is that it's always get woke go broke, and they would say like that movie. There's no straight white guy as a lead character in that movie. Everybody is someone else. So it's like it's like that's the whole point of the thing. Is like it's just funny that Oh no, too many positive comments. I don't think that's a problem. I'm just trying to see if there's any criticisms.
Any contrary opinion.
Right, because people can have overall
critical
positive
drinker
takes on something, but you see.
I don't listen to those people because they don't even watch the movies when they come out. So they certainly didn't watch them before or watch the movies when they're out. They didn't
if you want to see negative.
No. Okay, so hold on. Pause for a second. Time out. This is the issue we have. I'm not looking for negative opinions. I'm looking for people who have alternate opinions of this that are not glaringly positive. That doesn't mean negative. Like there is a gray area where somebody can have an actual criticism that isn't just negative for the sake of being negative.
Eric.
God damn it, Chainsaw.
The other, not this Eric in the comments. No shade to this comment. We gotta stop using Dark Knight as our post. If we want, hopefully going forward, this can be our new totem post where it's the best movie since Superman. That's fine. But there's been too many good comic book movies since The Dark Knight to keep using that as our standard.
Here's one that I saw that says Superman is a step above previous iterations in recent memory, but not by much. Okay.
Oh.
There's a lot of ideas being explored that I enjoyed, but those are all forgotten halfway through. A lot of distracting choices with the camera. Now, I will say we've already had people talking about not being a fan of the camera angle, so that's not that doesn't surprise me that someone might not like that. As far as lackluster visuals, I mean, I've seen all the stuff that have been in promos, and I don't think they're lackluster. But again, that is a personal opinion about it.
And we haven't seen all of it. There could be some like bad looking shots in here that we haven't.
Right.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I'm not saying like these little shots that I've seen that I've criticized are going to make and break the movie, because I haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm not going to base an opinion on a 2-hour plus movie of a couple shots.
Says here, I did love Brosnahan and Gathagy. So again, getting a little love for Lois and Mr. Terrific, which I think is really good. So Zaya here says, Eric, do you believe the movie will be good? So I have changed the way I talk about this now. I want the movie to be good. I'm going to go into the movie hoping the best for the film, and then it's just going to be what the movie is going to be. I think one of the biggest problems we have with media criticism today is projecting what we think a movie should be before we actually go and see it, instead of going in and watching it and then taking that in and leaving the movie with an opinion about what you've seen instead of what you wanted to see. I think that's a problem. So I want the movie to do well because I want all things that I love to do well. But we will see how it ends up when I go and see it. I'm hoping for the best. So, you linked something, Darren, here. Let me find this.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
the Ben post that I thought would be funny to look at.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Friend of the show, Ben, who's always traveling now. Posted. Superman was a blast. James Gunn captures the comic book. That's the fourth one I've read today that said that. To a T. Corn Sweat is a perfectly cast as Gunn's passionate yet cheerful version of Superman Clark Kent. Brosnahan stands out. I left wanting more scenes between her and David. So that does ring back a little bit to the lack of like Lois and Clark moments.
Interesting.
As they are a perfect pair.
That does scare me a little bit.
Okay.
Because that's
but
what
I would much rather want more of something than less of something.
Sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I leave the theater, I would rather say, I love that, so I can't wait for the next movie. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, just want it to be good. At the end of the day, just want it to be good, to be successful, because people really need to get this into their heads. Say the worst thing happens and this movie doesn't do good. All those people that are campaigning, restore the Snyderverse, blah, 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 Henry Cavill, blah, blah, blah. If this movie fails, Henry Cavill's not coming back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't mean anything to say restore the Snyderverse, because if this fails, it's a done deal, fam. If this fails, it is Batman movies for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And even whenever you have Batman as the clear focus of a movie like The Flash, that doesn't even guarantee money.
No.
Yeah.
No, but it doesn't matter because he's still the most guaranteed profitable thing that they have. Like that's
even
just the reality of it.
Even though your highest earning DC movie is not Batman, not Superman, or Batman and Superman, it's Aquaman.
I think they would sell Batman. I mean, I think they would keep Batman. I think Warner Bros. Would keep Batman, sell everything else. And can you imagine that? Imagine we're in like this MCU world where we have a new DC universe, but it's without Batman.
So here's the issue, Zaya.
That'd be funny.
I don't see a path. I could be wrong about this, but I don't see a financial path for an already struggling company to continue to funnel money into projects that aren't working for them.
I don't know. I think Green Lantern is DC's biggest untapped gold mine in terms of potential.
But it's also potentially the most expensive thing for them to do.
Probably, yes. I mean, like the old people at Warner Brothers, they took the wrong lesson from the movie not being a success. They said, "Oh, people just don't care about the character." No, you just need to make a better movie.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers fucked it 10 ways over.
Oh boy,
A green? I think it's supposed to be Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Wait, a Green Arrow movie could be guaranteed money. Yeah, I mean they could do an extreme. Look, there are so many street level heroes that get left on the cutting room floor by both DC and Marvel that could make tons of money for them for very cheap.
Yeah.
Like you could do a street level movie for less than 80 million.
Yeah. You could have it like 60 million.
Technically, they do have
Constantine too.
They technically have a template with Robin Hood. Basically, that's Green Arrow is essentially Robin Hood.
Well, they don't even have to do that though. They could just have a movie with Green Arrow in it, any story really, and it would still be cheaper than any of the movies they've made in the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, do the Green Arrow movie that Goyer was working on 20 years back. That is
You know what's
prison movie? Yeah.
You know what's funny is people were begging for a Black Widow Hawkeye prequel movie that shows them together, working together, that would have been extremely inexpensive for Marvel to make, and fans were clamoring for it. They wanted that movie so badly. There's a reality where we could have had Hawkeye and the Black Widow. That could have been a movie.
Yeah.
And I think it would have like if you would have had that come out like 2016, 2017,
when it was supposed to.
It could have been such a massively successful movie because you could have done that on like 100 million, 120 budget, and it do almost $1 billion. I think.
Yeah, because it would have been really easy to earn your money back.
Yeah.
People that was probably the honeymoon of that universe at that point, or getting into that period.
Yeah, do it right after Age of Ultron. That'd be 2017, 2016?
16.
Yeah.
Because Age of Ultron was 15.
So we need to do in 3Dub. I know you're going to remind me in 5 minutes. Don't forget to remind me. Chat.
Actually,
we are. Let me see where we're at now. We are 3 super chats away from reaching the goal. 3 at any amount. Do you have other bonus options set for this one? Not yet, but if you guys want to type them in the private chat, I'll put them up on the board. So it's okay.
Hey Jake, we should rank all the Phase 5 projects.
Aaron, we haven't ever done that before. That's a great
idea.
I
don't think we have.
Here, I'll throw a few in here that I typed down.
Okay, so while we do that, why don't we talk about the controversy? This is kind of blowing my mind a little bit. Apparently, the Rotten Tomatoes score is not going to drop until tomorrow, so we'll get to see that.
I think tomorrow I'm going to go dark.
I am too.
I'm
going dark after tonight. I'll probably record another Superman video pre-record a Superman video, but I'm not going to be.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna probably go into the Speed Force for a little bit.
I just noticed your hat, Darren. That's
oh, who me? Oh yeah.
Yeah, you didn't show what you were wearing until.
I know it's hard to see unless I'm looking down. But when's everyone seeing it?
I'm seeing it on the 10th at.
I'm seeing it first
3
thing in the morning on Thursday, so I'll see it first showing.
I'll probably see it next Monday or next Tuesday because I work the weekends.
I'm going Friday, unfortunately. I could get showings tomorrow, technically, but it's about a 2-hour drive for me, and then have something else I have to do in the morning. So I'm like, you know what? I'll wait for everyone else on Friday.
All right, so I made a video about this earlier today, and I'm sure that you guys have probably talked about it already. But let's see here. I'm going to read the whole thing because I think it's important. There's a lot of what I have found today in particular is there are a lot of people, and we're not talking about Snyder cultists, right? There's a lot of people who don't understand the basic stuff about some of these characters they say they love. They don't even understand the basic part of it, right? Because everything James Gunn says in this statement, outside of the way he's doing his movie, but all of the information he provides is literally just the reality of the character. So it's kind of weird. So he says here that in his Sunday profile with the... Actually, we'll do this here. I'll share this one instead. With the Sunday profile of the Times of London, the DC studio heads went to deep in themes and ideas that drive his highly anticipated Superman. He explained that the superhero epic encompasses the story of America. Okay, that sounds great, right? Everybody wants Superman to be this American hero, so this should be perfect for those guys that keep asking for him to represent the values of America. He's the story of America. And at the basic level is a man searching for a better life away from his original home. Interesting. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it's mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something we have lost. That quote is literally Superman.
And I'll piggyback that with something else Gunn said back in 2023. It was during one of his early interviews when he was talking about what his depiction of Superman is going to be. And I'm quoting word for word here. He says, kindness in a world that sees kindness as old-fashioned.
Yes, his big pitch, and that's what made me really excited for this movie. Was he wanted if people took nothing out of this movie, he wanted people to learn how to be nice to each other again. He wanted people to bring kindness back into the world, and I think that is very, very important right now.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of stuff over these last couple weeks that have come out
Yeah.
I think right now we need someone good. We need something to inspire to.
Right.
And I think if you can do that via a movie, that is the power of filmmaking.
Right.
If you can come out of this and be like, I want to be like him, then you've done your job.
Yeah. And to your point on that, I want to just hit this. Sorry, because you really
No,
made
go
me.
ahead.
So I'm going to take everybody back for a quick trip, 20 years back, 21 years back.
Things.
Yeah, right. When the Raimi Spider-Man movies were coming out, of course, those first one released right after 9/11, and Raimi was doing interviews for that movie, and he described his depiction on not only Spider-Man, but just his perspective on heroes at that time. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he goes, "These are scary times right now, and in times like these, we look to stories of great heroes to inspire us and give us hope and show us the way forward." And that whole concept in Raimi's mind was why the world was so smitten with Spider-Man at that time. And I think that applies to Superman now more than it ever has.
Yeah.
And then, Eric, I just put my list in the private chat for you. Sorry about that thing, by the way. I just wanted to hit that point before we lost it.
No, that's a pretty good point. I think so many. I think keywords scare people. I think words like political kind of send people on a frenzy of like, I don't want to watch the news station, and
it
like
scares people when they say it out loud, but they don't realize that a lot of the stuff has already done it.
Right, and I think if like the year was like 2015, then maybe this would be a different conversation or something, right? Because I do feel like political movies have shifted, over the last couple of years now, especially when politics are so connected to human rights, right? So like when you say your stories about politics, sometimes it doesn't mean like who's going to be president in these very official terms. It's like, hey, how do we treat each other? How do we treat basic human, rights and basic human feelings and basic human ideas and ideologies and like all these various stuff. So
this is your actually any better than the government we're criticizing.
So this is your hour reminder, DJ.
I just did it. It's already done.
I don't know. All this talk of immigrants and being kind and all that sounds like liberal sissy talk.
You're not wrong, but I also want to point out the term that they love to use is illegal alien, and this character is literally an illegal alien. That's the whole story, is that he arrives on Earth in the middle of nowhere, right? And he doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
And he has to hide who he is so people won't come and pick him up, so the government won't come and take him.
Yeah.
That's the whole fucking story of Super. Are these people fucking stupid? Are they that stupid?
Sounds like I used to take this Kal-El, whatever his name is, send on back to Krypton. Tell you what.
And that's
Krypton's destroyed.
And that's clearly the story that we're going to be telling. It's like once people find out who Superman is, it's like, wait, you weren't born here. Things that we don't know are scary.
Right.
Things that we're not used to.
I actually think also the issue is he's going to be an alien who's flying around unregulated by some sort of government or agency, and they're not going to like that.
No. And it's really relevant right now. It is really, really, really relevant. Me and Jake were talking last night, and you'll like this, 3Dubs. One of my favorite Smallville episodes of all time.
Oh, hello.
Is that it's like they're like immigration episode, and the mom Kent being like he's not documented and blah blah blah, and Clark's like, I'm not documented. I am an illegal alien. If they found out where I came from, they would be against me too.
Yeah, that was Subterranean.
Like that is such a good out of every superhero to like tell this political commentary for. I think this one is the perfect one.
I mean, because it represents somebody coming here from another country and being the representing the values of America and ultimately the globe, like the whole world. Like that's the progression of the character.
And I feel like everyone is going to feel that in some ways. Like even if you're not from somewhere else moving to America, every time in someone's life they felt like they don't belong somewhere. They felt like they don't fit in. And I feel like instead of being like, well, I'm not no immigrant, so I can't relate to this story, you can be like, oh, I have also felt alone, and I have also felt like I haven't been able to fit in. And it's okay to not fit into these many boxes and being able to relate to the stories that you're telling.
So this is one of the tweets, and I'm only going to show this one, and then we're going to look at this Fox News segment, which is absolutely crazy. That Fox News is even talking about Superman.
I know.
Slow news day.
Clay here again. I never want to send hate towards anyone. I'm using these as examples. You guys, if you want to go over and respond to this, you can, but do not do it on my behalf. So Clay says, I'm going to skip seeing Superman now. Director is an absolute moron to say this publicly the week before the release. America is desperate for apolitical entertainment and Hollywood is unable to deliver it. So before we read the second half of this tweet, he is expressing literally the definitional origin story of Superman and saying this is what we're going to be showing in the movie.
This guy's stupid.
And then he quotes him with stuff that he didn't say here. I made a fun movie that I hope everyone of all backgrounds, he might have said an interview. I can't say he didn't say it. He's done a million interviews. Is it hard to say this when you've been given hundreds of millions of dollars of studio money to make a summer blockbuster? It feels like Tom Cruise is the only Hollywood superstar who still gets this. Why do they always go to Tom Cruise?
Because he's a white man.
Because he has a lot of couches to jump on.
I don't know.
And planes to jump off of.
Ain't he a weird Scientologist that believes in Xenu and all that bullshit?
Yes, that is true.
Yep.
He is. So, look who's shown up.
Oh no.
Shouldn't you be asleep, Lance? Shouldn't you be asleep right now?
The panel just got 10% more attractive.
I took a long nap earlier, so I'm wide awake.
Only 10%?
Had back spasms. Also, I had a question that I wanted to get on stream to ask.
No.
It's mainly targeted towards Eric. I wanted his full opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear what Nicholas Holt said about David Cornsweet?
I guess the rest of us can fuck off then.
No.
He said that it was really warm inside David Cornsweet.
Did he say that really?
Yes.
What's the context? I gotta know.
Darren's interested for research purposes.
I don't know.
Okay.
Out
of context, that feels very sus. Very sus.
Lance, I'm going to tell Tyler you're cheating.
How did Behind the Colonel get invited to it tonight?
Oh, really?
Oh, he's there? Wow.
Oh, hell yeah. Good for him.
See, Darren, Lance was smart. He took a nap in between streams. You and I were huffing it and roughing it.
Yeah, we did like 3 back-to-back, basically.
Yeah.
An hour break.
Yeah. Happy fucking birthday, I guess.
So Thomas, the issue is, though, this is his story. Like, that's the point, is that if you have to hide who you are in order to be not scooped up by the government, in this sense, like with Superman, then that is literally the story of an immigrant trying to survive in a country where he's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Clark Kent, essentially, is a cover-up identity for someone that's not supposed to be in this country.
Yeah, and like the whole thing, like the reason he has to have a secret identity to begin with is like, well, if they find me, they'll do experiments on me and they'll test me and they'll...
And
by the way,
he's left, he decides to become the world's champion.
I also want to point out, I just looked up the F1 numbers. Yeah, it had a really decent start, just like the articles were glazing it. We talked about that. But it's not going to make it's not going to make a ton of money. Like the movie budget for that film, like it's crazy. Did you guys see the budget for this?
No.
So the budget,
I assumed it was a small budget. Is it big?
No. The budget's up. They said it's reportedly between 250 and 300 million.
On what?
Was Brad Pitt that expensive?
Was it just Brad Pitt? It's a racing movie.
So it says that with those numbers, that without any other information, because we don't know any kind of like subsidies or anything that it saved money on, with those numbers, we're talking like 550 to 600 million for it to make a profit back. And I just double checked the numbers. I ran the math quickly, and based on what it's up against over the next 2 or 3 weeks, I don't see that movie making 600 million.
No way.
I mean, I feel like most people don't even know it exists.
So my point is, like, why are you using him as an example here? He hasn't had what is the last big movie he's had since Top Gun 2?
Wolves? Kidding.
Like, seriously, what movie has he been in that is done? Like, Mission Impossible did not make the numbers they wanted to make. It did not.
No.
No shade. I like Tom Cruise. I mean, he's a weirdo, but I like him. I think he's a good actor.
He went ahead and ruined that Mummy movie.
I don't know. There was a lot of things wrong with that Mummy movie.
To be fair,
I think Tom Cruise is woke trash.
Why?
You know,
Because he said he liked the Flash movie?
Yes.
he did do that. In Tom's defense, a little bit, and I won't defend him as a person because I'm not a huge fan of him as a person. But like, he also just hasn't done a lot. Period, outside of Mission Impossible, right? Like that's just kind of been his main focus generally. So it is hard for him to like be successful elsewhere. Like you know, if you put all your eggs in one basket and that basket falls, you know, it's not necessarily his fault.
So,
he hasn't been in a lot.
No, I'm not, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not coming at him, but he's being used as an example. So I'm just looking at the last 10 movies that he's done. He's only had one massive success, and that was Top Gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I mean,
it.
you know, he could be
What-
the new Iron Man. Wait, never mind.
Was the original Top Gun or is it Top Gun Maverick?
No, Maverick, the new one.
Maverick.
Yeah.
I know he
So-
just got cast in like a new action movie with
Okay.
New action movie. That's a surprise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is a bit much.
what?
Looking at doing what Eric was doing and nitpicking these reviews.
Oh, I thought you were looking at David and Tyler.
What?
Pictures.
Nitpicking the reviews.
Yeah.
He's commenting on reviews.
What was a nitpick? What was my nitpick?
I don't. Eric, I'm just talking shit.
I know, but I want to know what it is. If you said it, there must be something in your head.
No, it's this one I just read. Superman is the best. The Man of Steel has been all millennium. Oh, F that. Put some respect on Daddy Tyler, okay? Okay? Superman and Lois was the best. The Man of Steel has been all millennium, all right? We don't got to do that.
See, I knew I liked you, Lance.
We don't got to do that. We don't got to do that. Like
We don't do that here.
we don't have to do that.
Hold on, I'm going to show you guys something. So,
Jake, look at the thing I sent you.
Huh?
The Quartering, everybody's favorite like shitposting
God.
content creator,
Oh.
posted, and I'm out. And this is what the headline reads: James Gunn says Superman is about an immigrant that came from from other places and how we've lost the value of basic human kindness. Yes, it's about politics. So I responded, and I fixed it for him, and it says Spider-Man is a story about a kid from New York who gets the powers of a spider. And I'm out.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But yeah, what has this story been for the past fucking 80 years?
Right, like
now
like
it's a fucking issue because it's a big, it's a big, you know, ticket storyline.
I don't even get it. I don't even get it.
God,
Like I don't
you know what
understand. I don't
God,
understand.
these people, I can't even speak properly anymore. These people piss me the fuck off with this dumb
Uh,
like, God.
Steven with the
shut
$2
fuck
super
up,
chat.
fat
Thank you,
piece of
Steven.
Pissing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
F1 is another boy boss flop. Well, I don't know if it's going to be a flop, but it's definitely going to underperform. We have to see. Like, if it really is a $300 million movie, that means even after all taxes and savings on it, it's still going to be close to a $200 million film. It still has to make like $500 million. So.
And I think F1 is basically a one and done kind of film too. Like,
Did you say fuck one? You said
no,
fuck one?
F1.
Oh.
Damn
How?
it, Darren.
It sets itself up to be F2.
I'm not
F3,
blaming you, but damn it.
F4, F5, FU, F me. Like it's a whole lot.
Not shocked. Hey, you know,
yeah.
maybe if they made a sequel movie, they could call it FF.
F2, F3.
Hey Eric, I have another question.
F9.
How do you feel about that creepy variety dude that kept asking everybody about how MAGA was mad about the immigrants?
I actually bookmarked some of those because I was like, wait, was he really asking this on the red carpet? So
and then
Sean
everybody
Gunn
that shared,
gave one hell of a comment though.
yeah. Okay, so
everybody
this
that's
is
sharing that keeps telling him like
I'm
everybody's
meeting him
like,
in a
"Can
few
somebody
weeks."
shut this guy up."
okay. So this is probably one of the craziest things that I've seen as a headline, right? James Gunn, Superman is an immigrant. Yes,
Yeah,
Other news.
he's from
Water,
the planet
wet.
Krypton.
he's
not even
literally,
from this planet.
definitionally a fucking immigrant.
Good, you read the comics. Good for you.
Good. You did a
Holy
simple Google
shit.
search.
What? Like, you don't have the right to be upset if you don't understand this.
Exactly.
You forfeited that right if you don't know that Superman isn't it. Like, literally, the creators of Superman did so as an immigration story. It's an allegory for their lives. That's why they created the character the way they did. It's about Jewish immigration. That's the story.
God, watch. Now they're going to post, oh no, guys, Batman is an orphan. Does that mean we're putting this thing against parents?
Spider-Man lives in New York and got bit by a spider. Oh.
Spider-Man's
Oh no, broke kid
What?
lives in big city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Billionaires' parents get killed in an alley. Outrage. Oh no. Like, what are we going to do?
Other billionaire makes weapons for terrorists.
So this is the full, there was like smaller clips. This is the whole 30-second segment, I guess. Let's see what she...
I don't want to hear
the
her voice.
Yankees at Mets game yesterday at Citi Field. Go Yanks. And you should see the people sitting for the national anthem for God Bless America. It's really just, I can't believe that we've come down to that. And
Super woke.
I don't know.
Wow.
Super
wait,
woke.
Hold on. She's about to say the worst part of this whole thing.
No, I get it, but I just want to read the thing here. So super woke, iconic hero movie to embrace pro-immigration themes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's go on here. So she's mad that people were sitting for God Bless America. Okay. We have bigger problems in the world, so get fucked, Kelly.
Go touch fucking grass.
I don't know. We don't go to the movie theater to be lectured to and to have somebody throw their ideology onto us. I wonder if it'll be successful.
You know what it says on his cape? MS-13.
Wow.
Is it superimposed
thought
or
it
it
cooked.
actually says that?
Well, the funny thing about that
why
was
not
they made up the lie about MS-13 being on Kilmar Abrego's hand. So he's literally making fun of their statement about an immigrant.
Rewind that back to the ideology comment.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Ideology onto us.
Oh,
I
hold on,
wonder if
hold
it'll be so, and to have somebody throw their ideology onto us. I wonder if it'll be
Pause.
successful.
You know,
You don't go to the theater to be lectured and have somebody throw their ideology onto you. You do if it's the one you agree with.
Yeah,
The Patriot.
true.
The
Because
freaking Patriot.
Because she just before saying this statement, guys, hold on. I'm gonna drop like big bomb on this one, right? Like, this is a big one. Right before this statement, she was upset that people were sitting for God Bless America because that is her ideology.
Make up
So
your
she was
goddamn
mad. She was mad that people were not participating in what she believes is her ideology, and then pivots to the fact that a superhero story literally about immigration
Right.
is somehow preaching ideology.
And because if it was her own ideology, you know she would be singing its praises.
Yeah.
My God, I cannot stand this woman.
No, I can't stand her either. I'm
Ugh.
surprised. Where did they dig her up from? She looks like she's the Crypt Keeper's wife. Like, I don't even get, like...
That is so goddamn funny, but that's
What?
accurate.
Like, where did they... I thought she disappeared into the woods. Didn't a house fall on her or something? I mean, I feel like...
It was a next door. Never mind.
I just...
Honestly, if you don't know the character, don't talk about him. Jeez.
But that's this whole... So that is the... 3Dub, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. So many people have this, and I said this earlier, these parasocial relationships with things that they think that they have control over, and they don't know even the basic stuff about it. The basic stuff.
When every like Joe Blow around the corner at least knows who Superman is.
Right. No, I mean, this is
Who's
something.
blowing Joe?
Wow.
You know, this happens a lot with like these news things where it's like, oh, something's getting very
Well, yeah.
popular. Let's talk about it. Like again, we were talking about back in Party Nation. Same thing happened with the Joker too.
Joker, yeah.
Oh yeah, the first Joker. I'm sorry, the first
Yeah,
Joker,
Joker
where every news station jumped on it. It was like, oh, this is going to affect your family. This is going to affect the way you live your life over the next week. Be
This is
careful.
going to
Be
inspire
whatever.
violence.
Right, and it helped the movie. It incredibly helped the movie. Actually, it made $1 billion
To the
because
violence
of
point,
So
there
what?
was
So
a fight that broke
what
out on
happens
theater.
if Superman, after all of this, ends up making $1 billion? What's their pivot on that one? What are they going to say at that point?
And everyone's
They
throwing
bought.
stones in the
They
glass
bought.
house.
They bought it.
George
Yeah,
Soros paid people to go see the movie.
Yeah, like they're
Yeah.
paying people, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, remember they had an issue with It's
That
gonna be an issue with everything. The same thing with Joker 2 with and I know we all had our issues with it, but the
That's just a
infamous
bad movie.
cancer storyline with Superman and Lois, people had a problem with that. It didn't make national news, but that's all you saw online. I don't watch Superman and have to hear about cancer.
And that show still won multiple awards.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, so let's hear what James says. I think this is the same reporter that's always like, "Is this the gayest show ever?" When they were talking about Agatha all along. Yeah. He's a little cringy as a reporter. I'm not a big fan of his, but let's see what James Gunn says. And I think didn't Sean say something as well? You said like Sean.
Yeah,
said
Sean had a really good answer.
Why do they sound exactly alike?
I don't know.
Is that brothers?
It's creepy.
Oh,
I don't sound like my brother.
Wait, is this the variety
Do
reporter?
you sound like your dad?
If you're asking that question, Jake, the answer is yes. If you're asking that
God
question,
damn it.
here we go.
You said it's an immigrant story. It's a political movie. MAGA today is going nuts. What do you have to say to MAGA?
That.
I don't have anything. I think this movie's for everybody. I don't have anything to say to anybody. Like I'm not here to judge people. I think this is a movie about kindness, and I think that's something everyone can relate to.
So I have to say that was a very classy fucking
Yeah.
He swiveled on that. He served it. He twerked on it. That was the best comeback. He gooned to it. He did everything he needed to do to make that sound as polished as possible. Because that's the thing. Superman's story, if he is supposed to represent... Keep in mind, this is the same group of people that says that Superman should say truth, justice, the American way. So they're admitting that they want Superman to represent American ideals, but they want to subtract the fact that he's an immigrant story.
I'm glad that statement has been kind of reworked in recent media to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
Well, I think it's a human way now. I think he says the human way.
I hope that's not true. I don't like it.
I believe that's it, right? Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, right?
That's what they
Yeah, I
said,
don't
but
like
I'm
that
hoping
either,
it's...
honestly.
I think a better tomorrow is a more timeless and honestly better thing of what Superman has evolved into, because I know Darren has heard me say this so many times in recent days, but like they say in Superman and Lois, doesn't give his allegiance to America because he gave it to the world a long time ago, and that
also
should be
he's not he's also not just for the humans, right? Like you have like Martian Manhunter, like he'll be sitting here being like, what the hell, man? I thought you were here for me too. What about this is a movie about immigration. Superman's, there's no way he's the only one that's come to Earth from other planets.
Well, I mean, obviously Hawkgirl.
And
Green Lanterns exist, which means that they've had some sort of interaction with aliens. So Metamorpho can change into anything.
Right, yeah, that's
so
dumb.
Yeah. So anyway.
You even have alien dogs. So
yes, true. Okay, so before we listen to what he has to say here, my issue with all of this drama is this is a Variety reporter. They're the ones that broke the story. They're the ones that wrote the headline. And I don't know when this interview was done. It didn't say when. It just came out today. But I don't know when the interview was actually done.
I think tonight, because I think it's at the premiere.
Yeah.
No, not this one. The article. I don't know when the article was when that was done. Like, I don't know if it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever. It's almost like they knew they had a gold mine with that headline, and they released that article strategically when they did, because it was right before. It was almost like blindsiding the actors, because this guy specifically asked James Gunn about MAGA. It's almost like they knew that MAGA was going to have a problem with this. And they waited so they could get these sound bites on the red carpet.
Yeah, that's all they wanted.
So I feel like these outlets, like Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Screen Rant, it seems like they are no longer in the business of actually trying to help films. They're in it for themselves now, and it's very obvious.
Yeah, whatever gets clicks.
Yeah.
That's been the case before.
Yeah, but it's been more prevalent. Before, they wouldn't do this to like Marvel or DC projects. They didn't do this before. You go back like 4 or 5 years, they weren't doing these kinds of hit pieces that were getting Marvel and DC in trouble.
No.
I don't, I do feel bad for these kind of people who write articles or do interviews, because those aren't. It's really hard to make traction on those.
I don't think the writers come up with the headlines. I think the editors do.
Probably.
I think the editors do the headlines.
And because of the way that some of them are structured out too, and how lazily they're put together, I wouldn't be surprised if they outsource some of it to ChatGPT.
Oh, a lot of it. And here's the thing: they can get away with that now because no one reads articles. And
no one will put it through a screener.
Yeah. When his kid was bisexual, they kept saying Superman is gay now. It's like, they knew they wouldn't say Clark Kent or Kal-El. They specifically said Superman because they didn't want to dive into like which character it actually was. They just wanted people to get mad about it.
It worked.
They had Dennis Kane with Dean Kane do a hood like he's not supposed to be gay. He's supposed to be a symbol for. Oh, shut up, you tubby.
No one lets you anyway.
If you're gonna comment on what Superman should be, maybe you should act more like Superman.
So Eric Crashes James Gunn that's why I said he twerked all over that answer, because that answer is like, if you get mad at him for that response, you have to like weasel around that to get mad at him.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Like, he said the movie's for
James
everybody.
Gunn said,
Thank you,
I'm
Jeffrey.
supposed to like
Jeffrey
this
just put that
movie.
So good. So it is Better Tomorrow.
Yes,
so hopefully
yes.
that's what it is. Yeah.
It needs to stay that.
All right. So let's
I thought
see
it
what
was the
Sean.
American way.
So no.
Wait, never mind. I'm tweaking. Never mind. I'm half asleep. I'm sorry.
So that doesn't mean the same thing it used to. So
Right. So, well, several people have said the American way changes with every administration. So you never, when you say the American way, you're just representing whoever's in power at that point in time.
Yeah.
I
can't
rest
remember who
my
said that,
case.
All right, here we go.
Your boss, your brother, talked about Superman being an immigrant.
He sounds
And now
slow.
MAGA is already upset that he's called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
He
You
sounds
know,
like a muppet.
my reaction to that is that it is exactly what the movie is about. I think that, like,
Wait, hold on. What did you say?
He sound like a muppet.
I want to get this. I sound like Scooby-Doo when I'm talking.
yeah.
Well, no, to me, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like old school Yoda from the original
That's what I
Star
was
Wars.
thinking, yeah.
That's what
The
it sounds
action
like.
Like, who let him go to? He's trying to get sound bites, and he sounds like that. I shut up.
MAGA mad they are. Opinion can you give? Like, that's,
You don't mean to be an asshole, but yeah.
I talked to your boss. You're great.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy's life, but it did give me Yoda vibes, right?
Your
So,
boss, your brother is.
gave me Yoda vibes.
My thing is, you could tell he's so nervous trying to get these questions out. You literally.
Oh, he's
Oh my
excited.
God.
No,
Oh my
he's
God.
excited. I've seen this guy do red carpet interviews for years. He's very
Yeah.
excited to ask controversial questions. He's really excited about it.
My thing is, he said, "I talked to your brother, your boss,
Right.
your James Gunn, your James Gunn." I didn't know he belonged to Sean, but okay.
All right, here we go.
Out, I think that, like, we support
He
our
sounds
people.
like James
You know, we love our immigrants. We love, yes, Superman is an immigrant. And yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants. And if you don't like that, then you're not American. People who say no to immigrants are against the American way. They're against what
Truth,
the American
justice, the
dream is
American
all
way.
about. Truth, justice, and the American way. Absolutely.
Wow.
I mean,
They went very different approaches with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sean can afford to do it because he's not the boss of
Yeah.
DC Studios. So
yeah.
They need to start
Which-
dyeing their hair back.
Which, I mean, you know, he's 100% correct there.
Yeah.
Like
That is how you use that the American way side of Superman's
Right.
old moniker correctly.
Did he basically lie to his brother about like getting a quote from James Gunn about MAGA? Basically, he didn't say anything about MAGA.
Yeah, probably.
oh my God, they asked Nathan Fillion too. Did you guys see this?
Yep. He
No,
he
I
went
didn't.
around to everybody.
I
All right,
didn't
hold
know.
on. I want to look at this one.
That's so, like, I get asking, like, maybe James Gunn about it. Like, I get that. But, like, every single person.
All right, let's see what Nathan Fillion says.
James has said that Superman is an immigrant story, that it is political. MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
Somebody needs a hug. Just a movie, guys. Just a movie.
Dang.
Oh my
That's a
God,
great
that's another based response.
But it's so true though.
Another based fucking response.
But you
doesn't
seen
look
what
like
you
he-
saw what I put on Facebook the other day.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking movie. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Look at
the
his
end of
face.
the day,
He
we have bigger
knows.
stuff.
His face at the very start knows this is going to be bullshit. He's
Well,
like,
I think he's
"All right."
probably had this guy asking questions before. I'm
Yeah.
guessing on the red
Yeah.
carpet.
And plus, you have to think about what type of show that he's on currently at the moment. He's at a
Yep.
show that depicts the boys in blue, the LAPD.
Justice
He's used to
system.
the justice system. He's used to these kind of dumbass questions, so he's not finna fall for that. Like, he's looking at codes like he's probably thinking to himself, "You sound like a Muppet." Like, he sounds like Oscar the Grouch a little bit.
All right. So not Oscar the Grouch. We're gonna do a couple super chats. We have one more little Superman blurb to talk about, and then we're gonna look at a behind the scenes photo from Captain America that makes me mad that we didn't get the version that they
me and
give
Darren
us.
were talking about that earlier.
Oh, you gonna leave me out of it like I didn't start it?
Well, we talked about it again since then.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you were there for the first conversation. You didn't join us for the second one.
It's cool. You know who else didn't join us?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's gonna leave that right there though.
John Cena.
Cameron here with
Aaron, you didn't see him? Sorry.
Cameron with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Cameron. Eric, have you seen that David Ramsey addresses the Green Lantern plot at Fan Expo by Screen Rant? No, I did not.
On this shit again? Oh my god!
I can't believe that he even talked about it again.
Oh my god! Can we just let this thing go already? Jesus Christ!
All right.
Anything like interest? Like what?
Let me look it
like,
up. Hold on.
you?
Let me look it up. Hold on.
Hey, I just want to say, I think the Snyder cultists are gonna turn against Grace Randolph.
You think so?
I mean, if it's actually like stuff that they were going to do that we didn't hear about, I'm actually fine hearing about it. But if it's just like, I was gonna do it, you know?
Right. We've heard this was gonna happen.
Hey, y'all want to know what's funny?
Uh-oh.
Do y'all want to know what's funny about David Ramsey in his time in like the Arrowverse?
What about it?
The time in the Arrowverse where he was doing like the most athletic stuff with being like John Diggle and Spartan and suiting up as like Green Arrow a few times. He was on Blue Bloods playing a paraplegic mayor.
I didn't know that.
He's literally his character got shot and he's been paralyzed since like season 3. He was.
I'm not. Look, you're getting me. You're gonna get me canceled because I laughed about saying he was in a wheelchair.
I'm
That's
laughing.
fucked up, Lance. I don't appreciate it.
No, I laugh. Like me and my wife is laughing about it because it's like
about him being in a wheelchair.
No, because it's probably like he probably said, "Yo,
hold on, wait.
I'm not trying to do too much."
Pause on that. You laughed at it for being in a wheelchair, Lance?
I laughed at it because me and my wife's probably like he probably said, "Yo, I can't do too much on this show
because he's in a wheelchair. He can't do too much." Are you saying that people in wheelchairs can't do much?
No, you walked into this one
athletic stuff.
So people in wheelchairs don't play basketball and stuff. You've never seen them play.
Do cop stuff.
So cops can't be cops if they're in a wheelchair. What about Oracle?
They can't.
Charles Xavier slides into the chat.
Top of your head, buddy.
Either way, we were sitting there like.
No, I get it. He was probably working out in the gym every day. His entire body looks like he's like a triathlete or whatever.
That's the thing. He does not look ripped in this show. It's like night and day. Like he's wearing suits all the time, so you can't see his figure. So it's just like this looks like a completely different. Like his characters are completely like polar opposites of each other. I'm like.
What is he in right now? Is he on a show right now at all?
He's technically on. He was on Bel Air as he was playing Trevor's dad, who was also a swinger.
Oh,
he did.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. It was really weird.
He played a villain in I think it's called Hunting Party over on like what is it NBC?
Yeah, he was on the Hunting Party. Yeah.
So I think he's just kind of doing like odds and ends right now.
Well, let's see here. We got. There were a lot of politics. I'm assuming he means like politics behind the scenes, but this headline is very giving right now. It's giving like we just saw. Andy wrote it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sure did.
Andy's also upset that he didn't get in. Never mind.
Okay, so it says fan here. I'm really curious about how the Green Lantern thing came. Why are we still asking David Ramsey about Green Lantern in 2025? But anyway,
we have nothing else to do.
And no wonder I got so angry about this. Look at the damn byline. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm really curious about how the Green Lantern thing came up at the end of Arrow. If that was going to happen, or if it was added because of fan speculation. David responds, "Yeah, we only teased it for 6 years. There was a lot of things going on at Warner Brothers in DC. There were president changes and what does that even mean? So wait, is he saying that? Or he must be talking about the president of Warner Brothers, right? He must be. He can't be talking about like the U.S. president. Why would that have anything to do with Green Lantern on Arrow.
No. I think he's talking about like CW president.
So Mark Guggenheim and I were that was a very tricky headline then. Very, very, very tricky headline. When he says president here and then he used politics in the headline, very, very tricky. So Mark Guggenheim and I and some other executives, I'm proud. I think you should be proud of that one. That was a good one. Hey, we really wanted to push this Green Lantern thing to make it possible. So there were some executives in DC and Warner Brothers that said yes, others have said no. So each time when you saw like Ernie Hudson, who came to play Colonel Stewart, who was John Stewart's father, that was like a yes. And then there was during Elseworlds,
Not
one of the
John
Flashes.
Stewart's father though, so that was pure bullshit.
That's his grandfather.
No,
Yeah.
it ain't.
Now, Roy Stewart is his grandfather.
No, it ain't.
Roy Stewart is John Stewart's grandfather in comics.
Prove it. He wasn't Roy.
Oh, you're talking about the Ernie Hudson?
Yes, he wasn't
Oh,
Roy.
okay.
That was just a character with the last name Stewart. That didn't make him John Stewart's father.
Elseworlds, one of the Flashes said, "Hey John, where's your ring?" Yeah, that was another one. So yes, we were in the process of something happening. Even in the finale, when there was a meteor at the end, we found a box, and then some other things happened, and there was a string of no's. So ultimately, there was an episode of the Flash where basically now the consensus is known what happened with Green Lantern. There was supposed to be a movie, and there was a TV show, and Greg Berlanti had Green Lantern, and then something happened with that. So there was a lot of politics around that property way above my head. Goes on to say here. And so then Mr. James Gunn came, and obviously there's a whole lot happening there. So I'm actually looking forward to that version. I can't wait to see it. But the answer is, to your question, yes, that was a real thing. But there were a lot of politics going on that were way above my head. So they were yeses and nos and yeses and nos. And every time there was a yes reflected in writing, and every time there was a no, it was reflected in the writing. So he's just kind of confirming what we pretty much already
You already knew.
I still believe that they should have stopped it at the end of season 8. I don't want Eric Wallace messing with it.
Okay,
I got a question.
Hey, Eric, can you do me a quick favor?
No.
Yeah.
Can you present the image I just sent to you?
I don't think that's how you spell yeses and nos.
It's not.
Short car. They meant the like Green Lantern movie back from like 2011. Not that our Green Lantern was getting a movie. I was thrown off by that too. It was like, wait, he was getting a movie? It's like, oh no, he's talking about the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie.
I wasn't thrown off about that.
Oh, wait.
Well, that's because you're a King Lance.
Do you have a T cut in your head?
What, me?
Yes.
No, it's just
Take your hat. It looks like a T on the side. It looks like a T on the side.
I just don't like this haircut, so I've been covering it up with the hat.
All right, hold on. Why is it so small? Here we go.
So,
Why does it say Earth 27?
There we go.
the thing that the white arrow is pointing to. You said his name wasn't Roy?
I'm saying in the show, his name was not Roy.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Look it up. Because he kept getting interrogated by what's his name, and he kept saying, I'm General Roy Stewart. My number is blah, blah, blah. You're not getting anything out of me. And that was his whole interrogation method. I've rewatched that episode God knows how many times.
Do you want to throw hands? I'm black, so I will win.
I'm going to pull a Michael Keaton here.
I got him covered.
Right.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you.
What year is that on? Jesus.
Wait,
I got
three dubs here. All right, show us 3 dub. Oh, your screen is tiny.
Oh, never mind. You're right.
It's really small 3 dub.
Should have put money on that shit.
No, you shouldn't have. Either way it goes, that's his stepfather. Meaning,
In the show, yes.
in the show, but meaning there was no John Stewart. So
All right.
Shit.
But there is a John Diggle. If that is indeed his stepfather, he would have had a Stewart in his name.
What do you mean?
If
in
he adopted.
his stepfather? That was his stepfather.
No, I meant like if the stepfather adopted him, John Diggle would have been John Stewart if he adopted him.
Well, he didn't really like him, so he kept his mother's name or his dad's name.
They also technically confirmed they didn't do it like in universe, but Jordan from Black Lightning said that like Lynn is Diggle's sister, which was like when they like when he said that, I was like, well, that's big news. Like that is a big thing that you said
Lynn
on an
Stewart.
interview.
Lynn Stewart.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but like at the time, it wasn't like confirmed that he was Jon Stewart. So like he just said that, and we were like, "Yo, what the heck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?"
Did you guys see the concept art of the other versions of that green and black suit that they gave him that actually had the Green Lantern logo on it?
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't get used. This is one, that would have been stupid, and two, it would have made it worse when he didn't become Green Lantern.
So, not to jump away from that, but what is hashtag Stop Killing Games?
I don't know.
What is that, South Texas Shark? I don't know what that is.
I'm not.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I know what that is.
you
I
don't.
was I was away from my desk for a second, but yeah, basically, Stop Killing Games is a move, based kind of like a movement to preserve games, to basically stop like all these developers and publishers from like you say like
Canceling.
hypothetically if Fortnite for some reason just ends after like say sometime in the future.
Oh,
Fortnite,
you mean like ending like service games? Is that what they're
Live
talking about? Or
service
whatever?
games.
not just live service games, single player games also. Basically, it's like for the Fortnite example that I gave out. Say if that just completely ended, everything that you spent, the money that you paid for the game, gone. Like say also for like Call of Duty or
Got
any
it.
other like multiplayer game. It basically stopped playing games, stop killing games. Is kind of like a movement to preserve all of that. Say,
I don't really have a negative opinion of that because I do believe that games, especially loot boxes and things like that, people spend a lot of money on games. If you're just spending time, it's annoying, but you just spent time on it. It's not that big a deal. But there are people that spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on video games. So,
basically, a lot like what happened to the Crew, how you can't even play that game anymore, and like what's happening with Anthem. Like Anthem, they're ending within next year.
Like what just happened with Multiverses.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. It's a movement that's mostly in Europe. That's kind of like a legal petition that's being started up in Europe to basically hold these companies accountable. They make it so that they can't just end the service for a game that you paid money for. Then the controversy behind that, there was a popular streamer who goes by Pirate Software, who's kind of like against it, basically saying like, "Oh, this is going to make live service games. This is going to put a stop to live service games." And it's like, no, good. Who cares?
Yeah.
Hell, I buy a lot of shit on physical media these days. I still have just a lot of my older systems and discs. This is something I've always said. Why I've been a big stickler for media preservation, whether you're talking movies, music, games, whatever. Nobody can take a working TV and a working system away from you.
Yeah, and especially for a lot of the older retro games, like say Genesis, even go back to like Master System, the regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64, and all those games back in the day. Like even with like with the, for example, Final Fantasy Tactics, they're getting a remaster. It was so hard for them to do a remaster because they deleted the code. They say they quote unquote lost the code, but no, they got rid of the code.
See, look, I got like 2 fucking old consoles right here that I still play.
Hold on, I'm about to go on camera for a second and show
I've been waiting
for you my penis. Hold on,
What?
1 second.
Wait, what did you say?
You heard what he said and you liked it.
What did he say?
You heard what he said, Lance, and you liked it too.
Showing you my penis now. This game right here is a. Hold on, it's.
Oh God.
This game goes for like $1,000 on eBay. I
got one too.
I got it on eBay. I mean, not eBay. I got it from electronics boutiques for like. It says 54, but I got it for 30.
Where is it? Where is
Did you have trade-in credit? Is that why?
I don't know, probably. But
You shook a little ass.
Yeah. No, I got this back in like 98, 99, I want to say. But
you want to know another
that game, the reason why that game never had a remaster, even though it's like one of the best RPGs that Sega has ever made, they lost the source code. Base was stuff like Stop Killing Games is basically going to prevent companies from just deleting the source codes altogether. Basically, so that people can actually play these games long after they stop selling.
Right. Well, Omega, you just made me think of it. You want to know some games that go for stupid expensive nowadays? So, got one of them in my hand right here. It's a little bit of a niche series, but for anybody who's familiar with it.
Ooh, Fire Emblem.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
Damn you, Eric. Yeah, this thing goes
Path of
for
Radiance, yeah.
that goes for like probably $200 today at least.
Trash.
And then you got games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 all the way back on the PS2 days. That's
Super
like,
trash.
The PS2 version isn't worth as much as the Dreamcast version, but it's still worth it quite a bit.
Right, yeah, I'll agree there. And a really rare one.
Oh my god, what the hell?
Man.
They added those to StreamYard. Sorry, I just saw them.
This is what I get for making your list for you. But no, they for anybody who's familiar with a game called Skies of Arcadia, Omega might be the only
Oh my god, that game is so dear to my heart. Oh my god.
Damn. And I want a remaster of it. I want a remaster of that game so
the
damn
source
bad.
code.
What?
They probably got rid of the source code once the game was done.
And honestly, I think Legends is honestly the superior version of that game on GameCube.
Yeah, Legends was good. Yeah, it had to add extra stuff, but no, that game was made not necessarily entirely made. That game was directed by Reiko Kodama, who also did the Phantasy Star series. And that is my favorite JRPG series of all time. Fuck Final Fantasy, all about Phantasy Star for me. But yeah, anyway, Stop Killing Games is basically gonna kind of make it so that, because especially when it comes to digital games being more prevalent, I got almost like 400 on Steam alone. They're gonna try to lobby towards like lawmakers so that these companies can't just pull the plug and be like, well, too bad.
Here are other expensive games nowadays.
Ooh, Melee. Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
Double Dash too.
Take that back. Oh no. Screw Final Fantasy. Because here's the thing. I was playing Phantasy Star 2 at the time, and a friend of mine showed me Final Fantasy 2, which was actually Final Fantasy 4. I saw that, was like, what the hell is this bullshit? I'm going back to Phantasy Star 2. No, because I had those little chibi characters. I hate those little chibi characters.
No,
they just run up and just go like that, and then, you hit somebody? No, wait, in Phantasy Star, they actually go up and hit them. I was like, this looks so stupid. Wait, what's that? I never played that one, but that was a really good game.
You gotta play this.
Well, I got
Dragon Ball, Jake. If you don't have no Dragon Ball, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I do. I have Budokai Tenkaichi somewhere in here.
Game's fighting words. Look, Phantasy Star was my first RPG back in '88. So I know a lot of people's first JRPGs was like probably Final Fantasy 7.
I was gonna say, Lance, I got this too.
Oh, that I'm not talking about that. Hey,
what
Natalie.
about
Eric, Natalie went to the premiere of Superman.
Natalie, which Natalie are we talking about?
From Superman and Lois, I assume?
Superman and Lois, yeah.
Taylor Buck?
Yep.
I just saw a comment.
Yeah, no, I saw it too. That's why I turned away.
Yeah, and Burning Rangers and Shining Force 3 is another great Sega RPG, another great Sega games that.
Who is that? He was in my stream earlier.
Wait, what the hell?
Who is that?
No, Eric, I said it kind of looks like you if you were a redneck.
Oh, geez. Thank you. I appreciate it.
He said remove those trousers.
for the
Okay. Here's one because this game kind of got brought back into limelight. An original copy of Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I got Shivering Now for the PC somewhere.
All right, so show and tell time. We got to move on. So,
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I actually got more shit next time that I collected while I was on vacation.
We should do a show and tell stream. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I'll show
I don't think you want me to show. I don't think you want to show.
Apparently, this one person wants Jake. One person wants Jake to show and tell for sure in the chat. So,
what are you doing?
Lance, you do enough telling. I don't think you need to show.
Wait, this person was in your chat earlier, is what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It said something about 3Dub having amazing shoulders or something.
Oh.
I don't know why 3Dub wasn't
last
there,
one.
so I don't know whose shoulders he was looking at, but
I was never a huge Zelda fan.
This is one of the best fucking games ever made. This is the best Zelda game. I will die on that hill.
All right, so South Texas Shark jumping in. By the way, we reached the goal. I'll read off the choices before we do the final tally here in a minute. But $2 super chat. What did you watch this week? Tonight we watched the Head of States movie on Prime with John Cena and Idris Elba. It just came out, I think. We watched that. That was pretty funny. We finished watching Sandman, the first half of the final season.
Still haven't finished that.
It's a little weird. The ending's a little strange, but the next part of it comes out on the 24th, so we're kind of waiting for that.
Oh, really? That's soon?
Yeah. It's just a couple weeks. I'm kind of curious why they just didn't do it week to week if they're going to do a break like that. That seems a little silly, but anyway, that's what they chose to do. What else did we watch this week? That's pretty much it because it's only been 2 days, so that's all we've watched so far. So I don't know. Has anybody watched? If you want to drop one or two things you watched, or we can move on.
I've been. I mean, I mentioned it a couple months ago, but like I'm heading towards the end of my Dexter journey. I wrapped up season 7 today, so I'm close to getting. But I have 3 more seasons of like this main continuity until I'm caught up. But anyone watching that this week? The new season?
Not currently, no. I haven't watched it yet this week, but I'm going to later. I guess today now. Since it's my birthday, I'm probably gonna pop in, like, since there's not a stream tomorrow night.
You had enough tonight.
Yeah, not seeing Superman tomorrow, but I'll probably pop in the original Spider-Man tomorrow. I watch that every year on my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you have your birthday with no streams to go on, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I get a little bit of a break.
So we have a $4.99 super chat from Kayla here. What would your dream DC or Marvel movie storyline be? Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness! I have so many in
God,
my mind.
Darren, they knew we were tired.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give mine because I think we've never really had it, and I would love for them to do a proper one. I actually have 2, so I'm gonna cheat. I got 2 of them. So mine would be a proper Venom storyline in the MCU. I would love to see them actually do it. They have an opportunity with this upcoming Doomsday and Secret Wars to actually do it. So I'd love to see that. I'd also like to see a proper Phoenix into Dark Phoenix storyline in the MCU. So those are my 2.
Yeah.
So mine is I would like to see an X-Men versus Avenger movie.
Okay. I mean, we kind of did it a couple years ago, but I want to do it. I want to redo it. Try it again. Secret Invasion. Give me like proper Secret Invasion Avengers movie. Holy shit!
Well, if nothing else, they set an incredibly low bar.
Blow that one up and try again.
Yeah. Let's say I've got 2. I got one for DC, one for Marvel. There were shades of this story all the way back in the Flash season 1, but this is something I really want to see adapted, which is the return of Barry Allen. I really want to see that story done prime and proper in live action because I think it's one of Wally's best stories. That part of Wade's run is fantastic. I'd love to see that adapted fully. And then on the Marvel side of things, this is not going to be a surprise for anybody who knows me, but I'm dipping into the X-Men world a little bit. This was something that was recently done in X-Men 97, and this is, again, kind of a cheat answer. I would love to see, we did get Cable in live action with Deadpool 2, but I want to see that full-on Madeline Pryor, Goblin Queen story done eventually in live action. And also as like a bonus thing, I'm wearing a Magneto shirt. I doubt movies will ever have the balls to do this. But if they could recreate Fatal Attractions in live action, I would love to see it. Will they ever have the balls to do it? Probably not. But X-Men 97 did it, and they could use that as a template for all I care. I just want to see it.
Marvel side, either a proper Age of Apocalypse,
Lance, you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna say anything. Go ahead, finish the mistake.
Either a proper Age of Apocalypse or Asteroid M, or for DC, something dealing with the anti-life equation.
See, Omega, I don't know about that. Like, I think Age of Apocalypse, holds a lot of spot in people's hearts, especially people who were reading it around that time. Mm-hmm. I don't think you should adapt that story for mainline MCU X-Men.
Like that is crazy.
Everybody's over here. Everybody's over here crying because of that comment. I mean, drop $5 more and I might stand up.
It's just the phrasing of
sorry.
that is
Sorry.
the way that
Hey,
phrase
Lance,
is
you-
insane.
Hey, Lance, you remember that one stream whenever you asked me how big this bed was behind me? And then
Oh no! Oh no! Why did you ask that question? Holy shit!
He
Why
got
did you?
and posed for us behind
yeah,
the
I
bed.
did a pose on this thing.
Oh,
It looked small, so I thought it was like a little
Oh.
twin size bed or something.
can we get a
It looked
recreation, Jake?
small.
Well, the bed's not clear right now. I've got stuff on it.
Oh yeah, I see. All right. Anyway, thank you, Kayla. Sorry, that was crazy. All right. Then we got a serious super chat. I don't want to do that while we're laughing about this comment, so we'll give it a second to like chill out.
I didn't get to say my dream film.
Well, what is it? Go ahead.
Well, I want a proper Flash tale. I want to see the Flash family on the big screen with the right budget. I want to see a proper Eobarthon. I don't want to see an Eobarthon who decided to take another man's body for his own nefarious reasons.
Because it's so warm inside of
Yeah,
it.
I guess. Like I want to see a proper take on the Flash with a proper suit. I want to see the blonde-haired Barry Allen, or possibly start focusing on Wally West, and I want to see Ace West. I want to see it all. And on the Marvel side, I just wish like we're getting it now, but I wish like in the heyday of like Marvel Studios, I wish we could have gotten, Spider-Man with the X-Men or Spider-Man with the Fantastic Four. I wish we could have gotten that.
Yeah.
Especially with Tom Holland, or even actually, I wouldn't have mind seeing Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man interact with one of the iterations of the Fantastic Four. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, hell, going all the way back, I know people still want to tie those early 2000s projects together and have like Tobey's Spider-Man interact with the Tim Story Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Has everybody said theirs?
Yeah.
Not 3 Double-licious. I mean,
I think 3 Dub did, didn't he?
Yeah, I
Creative
said the X-Men
Crusader.
versus
Oh.
Avengers.
Yeah.
okay.
I would
All
also like the
Yeah.
Megarian War. I think it'd be really cool.
Ooh, that would
Yeah, that'd be good.
The
That'd
what?
be good.
The Megarian War. Hot girls. Like the
Thanagarian, okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
No problem.
Oh, that's why I didn't know what to.
I said it wrong as soon as I said. I cannot say that word to save my life. I always mess it up.
So if it helps, the planet is Thanagar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want that like arc of Justice League, the like Justice League show, just in
Yeah.
live action. I adore that.
Hell, give me the what do they call it in the show?
Should I do a quarter pounder or a Big Mac? I'm doing an order food right now.
Do a double quarter pounder.
Okay,
What time is it?
142.
Order McDonald's at 1:42 in the morning.
I live at the beach. Our McDonald's are 24
Same.
hours.
Same.
So
But McDonald's is early. Does not seem healthy, young Eric. We're supposed to be treating our bodies as
that's a different conversation. You asked me why I was ordering McDonald's, not if I thought McDonald's was healthy. How about you drop them panties for the ladies on the stream? Since
That's not. Well, if it helps,
Yeah, and show Eric what he's missing.
if it helps, I don't.
apparently
have on
someone
pants
tipped
at
you
the
for it
moment.
earlier and you didn't do it. That's what they said. So I don't know about all that, but
If it helps,
I don't know if that's
I-
real.
I don't have on pants at the moment.
well, there we go.
Terrence cried.
All right, so switching gears while I order my food here. I don't know if anybody lives close to Texas, but South Texas Shark, who is in Texas, I'm assuming, with a $2 super chat. My thoughts are with the Texas flood victims. Yes, because I have heard so much misinformation about what actually happened.
Everything
At the
is a
end-
distraction.
Yep, but at the end of the day, a bunch of people are missing. A bunch of people are confirmed dead because of this. Crazy stuff. If there is, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of fund popping up to like fund the people that need help there or whatever, because obviously our government isn't doing jack shit. But yeah. So anyway, definitely.
Are you okay?
Thinking about them.
I
What
shivered.
happened?
So
Oh.
Darren like had a spaz attack for a second. I was like, "Are
I
you
shivered.
okay?"
Okay.
Yeah, if only there was a way that they could have predicted.
I know.
What ratings were going to be.
If only there was a
system.
system that was originally funded that was defunded like 4 months ago.
Yeah,
If
you
that-
know,
if only that, so-
if they would have
I
moved
just had a
beyond
shiver.
concepts from a plan, we could have gotten somewhere.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go with a double quarter pounder because Jake suggested that. So.
And as I say, if you go for dipping sauce on those fries, go for hot mustard.
Oh, is that? I don't think
That's
we have
right.
that.
I was
As
gonna
far as,
check to see.
Oh, really?
Hot mustard. What?
Hot mustard is good on McDonald's fries, okay?
I've never heard of that. Hot
Really?
mustard. What?
Really?
It's just spicy mustard.
he's like
Spicy
hot mustard
mustard.
and cold ketchup. Just those two things.
So
together.
it's not
That's
even
all
like
it
the
is.
spicy mustard you buy in a jar. It's not even that.
Yeah. All right. So Cameron here with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. He goes, Eric, have you seen that Cassandra Cain now has a brother who is the son of Bronze Tiger and Lady Shiva in the newest issue of Birds of Prey? And people really hate that bat families have a secret sibling. Is it another?
You're telling me Ben Turner got to tap Lady Shiva?
Oh my god!
Man, what a guy!
It never ends. I'm not mad about it, but it's like this is one of the things about this whole like League of Assassins and extended characters in the Bat family is it just never fucking ends.
Yeah.
Like if somebody showed up and said, "I'm Bruce Wayne's long lost brother," blah 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 blah, we'd be like, "Yeah, okay, that we believe that," because it's just that's the way it is in the comics.
Didn't believe it in Gotham Knights. We're not believing it here.
But no, I didn't know this. Actually, is the new Birds of Prey is what issue are they on? Isn't it a brand new run? I think it's pretty new, right? Like new.
I think.
Hold on, Cameron. Let me know what issue it is. What issue that's in.
Lance, you said you're not wearing pants. Now you have me concerned.
So it's not the new run. It's the 23rd issue of the current run.
I would assume based off the comment, yes.
So it's the 2023 run that they're still doing now.
Oh, that's how long it's been going?
Yeah, that's actually really impressive. A lot of comics nowadays get canceled after like 10 or 12 issues. So
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive. All right. So the last main topic we're going to have here is we're going to look at what we could have had, which was Isaiah Bradley in a proper Captain America suit.
That stunt double doesn't look like Anthony Mackie at all.
Well, he would have been wearing a mask, I guess, in the scene, right? Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I will say that from the side that does look like, what is it, Carl? Is that the actor's name, Carl Lumley? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the side, yeah.
Okay. This is it reminds me a lot of the Winter Soldier design to me.
On Isaiah?
Yeah, like the color scheme is very Winter Soldier.
No, on the
Yeah.
lady, Jake.
I thought he was talking about the cap suit because Sam's new cap suit kind of borrowed elements from Steve's Winter Soldier suit.
Yeah.
He was talking about the actual Winter Soldier.
I know!
Someone's grumpy tonight. Like,
Yeah, what's happening? What's going
I'm
on?
fucking exhausted. That's what's going on.
He's
I
not
blame
talking about you.
We also have
Oh my god.
we also have some concept art. Now, I want to put it out there that concept art is
Lance.
literally just concept art, so it doesn't mean it was ever going to make it into the movie, but it is something they were considering at the time.
Yeah, Eric used the term concept art. Duh.
You know, it is what it is. But
I'm still hoping for a prequel or something.
I am really okay. I liked Brave New World. I think it was a little disjointed, going from the first and second act to the third act.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of issues with that, with what they did at the end. I did enjoy the Red Hulk. I know they did that to sort of like get more people interested in the movie. But looking at what the concept was for the film and seeing him in the costume here and this idea of the Serpent Society infiltrating the government, this was a really cool storyline to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would have given Isaiah a little more of a complete arc. Because even though he was the beating heart of the movie, I've said this on the past 2 streams I've been on today, but they would have given, like, they set it up so perfectly in the third act of the movie whenever the shield falls to the ground. They set up a Here Comes the Cavalry moment so well to have Isaiah come back as the forgotten Captain America, the one that was just abandoned by the government.
Already at the drive-through? Yes.
There you go. But they set it up so well, and he doesn't really have a complete arc through the movie. He just kind of sits in prison for most of it. And this would have given him a complete arc. To
be honest,
himself,
it seems like his entire story arc in the version we got was to set up the finale arc. Like, there was no story for him. He was just there to set up what happens at the end.
And even then, it kind of goes against the nature of Falcon and the Winter Soldier because they have Sam go up against the Red Hulk alone because, We have to set it now that Sam has something to prove that he can deal with this threat by himself. But the whole point of your show, where he became Captain America, is that he didn't have to deal with it alone.
I could tell you why for real, and this will be the last thing I say because I'm about to go to bed.
Okay.
If we want to be completely honest, everybody knows it's true. It's the reason why he did not wear this suit, the reason why they retconned it out, did reshoots that they said they did not do. You can't have too many patriotic Negroes. Everybody
That's like, before I go to bed, I'm going to drop a truth bomb.
You cannot have too many black folks.
Two black Captain Americas in the same movie?
Oh, that's blasphemy. And then you have a Latino dude in a green bird suit.
There's no white people representing America in this movie. It's just
white people
black and Latino
America.
people.
The one white guy that he turned red.
And the only other white guy that was in the movie for one scene.
That's true.
Exactly.
That is true.
So yeah. So I'll catch you guys later.
All right.
Take care,
tomorrow.
Lance.
Get some sleep, buddy.
Take care, Lance.
Damn, he dropped he went out like a bomb.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that looks bad.
It looks like redub.
Oh no.
You're lucky I'm not in power right now.
It looks like the leader had the ability to split his head, and then like a tentacle thing would come out of it. I think that's
it looks like the Krang from like Ninja Turtles.
What kind of hentai thing are we doing here?
I don't know. And then we had, this is from the Serpent Society here. That looks really cool to me, actually. Being able to segment his body.
Okay, yeah. Oh, for a second, I just saw like the bald guy with the bare chest. My first thought was Absorbing Man.
To be fair, and I know that everybody loves an underdog story, I think pairing up Sam and Isaiah, and I don't know how much Sabre was going to be in the movie, but Sam, Isaiah, and then maybe Bucky at some point, against these characters, it would have felt more like a real battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they went with we want Sam to face off against the Hulk, essentially.
Yeah. And you can still have the new Falcon in the movie doing stuff, but I just think it would have been more fitting because the dynamic between Sam and Isaiah had already been built up over the course of the show, but they were retreading a lot that had already been done in the show, like Sam not feeling worthy of the shield, feeling like he needs to, feeling like he should have taken the serum, Isaiah feeling betrayed by the government. Like the show already did so much of that.
Baby girl. So this is their design for the leader, or several designs for that character here. I don't have an issue with this one either, but they went with more like a sci-fi horror look with the way they did the one we got. To be fair, I said this before, I don't like this character design at all. I don't like him. I think he looks really dumb, and no matter what version it is. But I do think the one they're standing on the left with the more almost Brainiac looking design, to me, is more aesthetically pleasing than anything else we got.
I think they kind of took notes from how Hector Hammond looked in the Green Lantern movie.
Yeah. My cat's getting in the way, sorry.
Yeah. Man, all the villains in this movie suffered.
Yeah. They could have done so much with this. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. And even after the Ironheart stuff this week, when we heard that Zeke, Zeke Stain was maybe supposed to be behind some of this, and
which, looking back, that makes total sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
But the problem is that show got delayed. It should have came out before this movie.
And I think that would have been such a good foil to Sam, because both are dealing with trying to live up to a legacy.
Oh my God! I just had a really bad thought.
Oh no.
Okay. So, on paper, Ironheart was supposed to come out 2 years ago.
Yep.
And this movie was supposed to come out a year ago, meaning it still would have came out after Ironheart.
Yeah.
Zeke showing up in this movie would have spoiled Ironheart. So I wonder if they made an executive decision to shift everything from this movie because that one thing would have been such a massive spoiler.
Yeah.
Probably. And I even said, too, that if that Armor Wars series would have happened, I guarantee Riri would have shown up in that.
Yeah. Steve Rogers built this in a cave.
So that might mean that they didn't change it just because they wanted something bigger and better. They might have changed it because they had to pivot and they didn't have a choice.
Right.
This movie was production hell.
Oh,
like
yeah.
this might be one of the worst like production nightmares Marvel's ever dealt with.
I agree with that.
Yeah, just from a plot standpoint, it's like this is a movie where you feel like the script is trying to be really smart, but it's not even smarter than the audience. Like it's so much dumber than the audience. Like it's telling you things that the audience figured out over half an hour ago. Omega, are you okay? You were really
getting
onto something.
I was masturbating.
Yes, I'll take the shark with the $2 super chats asking the important questions here, or making a statement, I should say. That's why Lance had to leave. That's why Lance had to go. So, all right, before I'm going to give everybody like a 2-3 minute buffer here, and we're going to read through the options, and then we're going to see what everybody chooses. So on the poll, because we did hit the goal, you hit the goal, you get the poll.
That's right.
The top one right now is MCU X-Men lineup wish list. So that was one of Jake's suggestions. Was a wish list for who we'd like to see
I'm so
on
surprised.
the X-Men lineup.
I know, right?
Best 2000. Do you put best 2000 movies? But I put best 2000 comedy movies. I feel like I wanted to narrow it down a bit.
Okay.
That one's one of the other options. Best 80s movies overall. So that one is a broad one from 1980 to 1989. And best 50% or lower Rotten Tomatoes movies, which I keep putting on here, thinking that maybe one day we'll get it. But right now, the winning one is X-Men lineup. So if you want to vote, go ahead. You have like 2 minutes, and then we're going to see where it goes.
Look at Jake's face. He's smiling.
So Sun Dawn Studio says the first 30 minutes of Fantastic Four First Steps were at a fan event in Brazil. Social media reactions to the footage are embargoed until July 8th. Well, you know, the interesting thing is this week's going to be kind of fun because I am taking a social media break from Superman starting as soon as this stream ends. Yeah. I will not be looking at anything Superman related because I see it in 2 days.
Yeah.
Then I will do a non-spoiler thoughts on it Thursday. I don't want to talk spoilers because it's the beginning of the weekend and everybody's still got a chance to go see it. Yeah. So the actual spoiler review for Superman will be on Monday's show.
Okay. Are you going to do a talk like that one like you did with Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole show will basically be Superman. So it might be the last Nerdcast based on Superman at this point because we've done so many of them. But we'll do that, and then I'm assuming it's going to be like a Fantastic Four overload after that.
Yeah.
Most likely. But Thursday, I will discuss with anybody that has seen it a non-spoiler thoughts and opinions on Superman. But Thursday's stream will be a catch-up stream. So we're going to talk about Superman, but we're going to probably do two or three of the topics that you guys have chosen because we've got a backlog. Darren was gone, and then Jake was gone, so we have a backlog of topics to cover.
Yeah,
so.
no, we secretly planned that, so you had to wait.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna be gone. No, I was kidding.
Yeah. So anyway, so Jaybird says it just confuses me how they keep bringing up the Tony built this in a cave with scraps argument when Obadiah was referring to the arc reactor, not the suit. He already built his own suit.
Yeah, but people don't really pay attention.
Yeah, I think that's more of like people
shock, surprise, surprise.
Only hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Hold on.
They hear what fits their own narrative. It makes them feel better. Yeah. And honestly, a lot of those quote-unquote movements that people keep hitting on, like just to make themselves feel better about the whole thing, they just need to let it go.
I want to point out also, and I wanted to double check to make sure that I was correct on this, but the only reason that Tony was able to even build an arc reactor to begin with is that his father made it. So all he did was make it smaller. So I'm not saying that only as in that's like not a great thing, but it's not like he's the one that came up with that energy source. You know what I mean?
My favorite reply is the fact that he says, "Well, I'm not Tony Stark."
All right, here we go. We're going to end the poll. What did we get? It is with a 51% vote with like over 50 votes. The MCU X-Men lineup wish list will be one of the topics we discuss on Thursday.
Happens to be my favorite number, so how about that?
So anyway, but yeah, that's going to be one of our discussions. So we're going to do that. These are the things we're going to do on Thursday, just so everybody's clear. Correct. These are the 3 topics, and tell me if I'm wrong here. Best MCU powers was one of the ones that we waited on.
Yep.
Top 5 90s cartoons. Right? That was one of them. That was TV shows, though, right? Top 5 90s cartoon shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like animated shows.
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
And then we're only going to do 3. So those will be 2 of them, and the third one will be the one we did tonight, which is the X-Men.
Darren was telling me last week that you guys did one and like Arrowverse crossover is one of them.
Yes, that's one that we have to do still.
What's
But
the third one?
we're going to save that one for another
I was about
stream.
to say, there's going to be a shit ton of overlap with that one, I feel like, because there's not a lot of them.
I actually feel like what's going to happen is we're going to end up... we'll probably end up having to do multiple streams dedicated to all of this. You know what
What's
I mean?
the third one?
Yeah.
The X-Men wish list.
The X-Men one.
Okay.
So top 5 90s cartoons are top MCU powers, like the powers that we like the most. And then we're going to be doing the one we got tonight, which is an X-Men wish list. So basically your dream team for the X-Men.
I could wear one shirt that's applicable to all 3 of those topics.
All right, we got the super chat here from Cameron, $5 super chat. This is my last super chat. Well, I'm glad that you're able to get your last one in because we are literally about to wrap things up. This is my last super chat, and Nightwing has a secret sister, and Damian has a secret sibling created by Deathstroke. And Roz. See what I mean? All of these family members. Like, what the fuck? This is why the Bat family is crazy and possibly could be its own universe.
Yeah.
Like, you could have a whole world where it's nothing but Batman.
Is it really a secret if Batman can figure it out?
Anyway, thank you so much, Cameron. I do appreciate it. By the way,
probably
look
did
here.
a background
Thank you.
check on.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, everybody's getting tired. We've had a long day, so I want to thank everybody for stopping
exhausted,
in. Yeah, like I want to thank everybody for stopping in. It's Hassan. I think I verified it's any crossover within the Arrowverse, so it can even be like a one character crossing over into another episode. That all counts.
All right.
So.
Yeah, well, that definitely opens up the options a little more.
Yeah, like it's any crossover that happened, even if it's like outside of the Arrowverse. So like. If it's Stargirl or something like that, it's Arrowverse adjacent shows too.
It's like Superman and Batwoman. Never mind.
With that one that never happened, yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, so I want to thank Lance for being here. We had to leave to go goon, so he's out. 3Dub for chilling with me from the start. Go check out 3Dub's Creative Crusader. That's an alliteration there. Darren and Jake, both who have been streaming since like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm sure they're
after a 9-hour workday.
They're ready to go. And Omega for stopping in and hanging out with us. We will be live again on Thursday. Again, it will be a catch-up stream, so we're going to be discussing a bunch of y'all's topics, unless some big, huge news drops, and then we'll toss that in there as well. And I'll talk briefly about my thoughts on Superman without spoilers. The Superman spoiler stream officially will be Monday, so if you have a chance to go see it between Thursday and Monday, definitely go and check it out. So we'll be there. Thanks everybody for the support and the super chats, and we'll see everyone on Thursday night. Take care.
Bye.